In the interest of transparency and accountability, it's important that we know how much the government of Ghana's stake in the Vodafone SPA as a minority shareholder is going for.
We also have business and later Church of Pentecost joins search for kidnapped deacon 4 days after a robbery incident at its Johannesburg branch as it declares 3 days fasting to seek God's intervention. These and many more coming up shortly. I am Amazing Yamche Thompson. Please stay. In our first story, despite assurances from relevant authorities to intervene in the treatment of kidney patients following Joy News' Dialysis Crisis Thought Leadership event, the outpatient department of the Kolebu renal unit remains closed. We'll hear from the Kidney Patients Association shortly, but first here's CEO of the hospital, Dr. Opoku Wari Ampoma, explaining the closure.
The renal unit has a deficit or has a financial deficit of 4 million cedis that we need to, that we are trying to find ways of.
Is that debt?
Yes.
Now, Presidential Advisor on Health, Dr. Anthony Siansari, gave the assurance that the government will intervene in the situation to get the unit opened.
Government is to assist and help the people. So whatever government wants to do to assist the people, that's what
they will do.
But to date, the unit remains closed to outpatients. Spokesperson for the Kidney Patients Association, Daniel Hammond, says the situation is causing the death toll to rise.
As we speak, the cabin is still closed to outpatients. The death toll has risen from 14 patients of our last press conference to 19 patients. Lives are being lost needlessly due to the lack of adequate dialysis. We humbly appealing to the government again to help us.
And Daniel Hammond is a member of the Kidney Patients Association. Moving on, the Church of Pentecost has joined the search for its deacon kidnapped at its Johannesburg branch 4 days ago. Gun-wielding men attacked the church and whisked away the deacon with an unspecified amount of money. Ghana's High Commission in Pretoria, South Africa says it is working with the Church of Pentecost and the South African police to ensure the safe release and return of the deacon. The church has issued a correspondence to all its branches across the country. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba joins me in studio with detailed. Maxwell, what is contained in the statement?
Well, Mami, the church says it is collaborating with Ghana's High Commission in South Africa as well as with authorities there to secure the release of the deacon. The church adds that in the meantime it will hold a 3-day prayer and fasting session which commenced yesterday for the good health and safety of the deacon.
Thank you, Maxwell. We can listen to Chairman of the Christian Council of Ghana, Dr. Hilad Dela Dogbe.
Where it appears that the church is under siege. We know that it's not something against the foreigners. We've heard of all of these issues from South Africa, and it's something that we've all been concerned about. And happening in the way that it happened, that people were robbed and all that kidnapped, is one which was utmost concern for all of us. We commiserate with the Church of Pentecost in this situation, and we believe that it's not an issue for just the Church of Pentecost, but the entire Christian community of Ghana. So we are all praying along, and we've read a statement from the government.
And that was Chairman of the Christian Council of Ghana, Dr. Hilad Dela Dogbe. Now, Member of Parliament for Tamale South, Haruna Idrisu, is demanding clarity on an alleged sale of Ghana's 30% stake in Vodafone Ghana. According to him, the nation's stake in the billion-dollar asset has been sold on credit for a paltry $100 million. Now, he lamented further over the telecom sector, which used to be an avenue of revenue for the government, but has withered away under this administration, demanding an explanation from the Communications Minister.
My information is that there's been a sale of the interests of Vodafone UK to a new owner, or call it a purchaser, at a value that is undetermined and unknown to the Ghanaian public. In the interest of transparency and accountability, and in the interest of guaranteeing value for money, it's important that we know how much the government of Ghana's stake and interest in the Vodafone SPA as a minority shareholder is going for. At what value was it sold? How did the majority shareholder secure the consent of the minority shareholder, the Republic of Ghana, in facilitating the sale?
Haruna Idrisu is Tamale South MP. Now, the only fire tender serving the Oforikro municipality in the Ashanti region has been grounded for over a year. This adversely affects the response time to fire outbreaks in the area. When fire gutted a 21-bedroom house at Anloga, fire officers had to rely on the Menchia fire tender to fight the blaze. Municipal Chief Executive Abraham Kwame Entry says requests from the fire department for repairs have not been heeded because the assembly cannot afford the cost.
I am aware it's been down for close to a year. The money involved in fixing the fire engine was huge, and we didn't have the financial wherewithal. So we have also written to some agencies, some filling stations, some major institutions within our municipality. The regional fire chief reported at Red Sec. And then I said that he should let his people at the district send a request because they also don't have it, but it's their responsibility to fix.
Now, Ashanti Regional PRO of the Fire Service, DO3 Peter Day, explains there are ongoing plans to fix malfunctioning tenders. He expects all sectors to collaborate with the fire department.
I know the regional command has put in measures to fix it. As at now, we have been able to secure some of the parts to fix it. But like the MC said, I mean the amount involved is so huge. We cannot do it on our own. You see, fire safety, like we always say, is a shared responsibility. Even though the tender is for fire service, it is serving the people of Oforikro.
And to the NPP, as the party prepares to elect a new leader this weekend, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is fighting off claims that he mismanaged the economy. There have been a strong advocacy by other aspirants that the Vice President should be voted against due to poor management of the economy in the Akufo-Addo government. However, Dr. Bawumia is fighting off such assertions, indicating he does not have full control of what happens in government.
I have been able to support the government with all of these ideas as Vice President. It means that if by the grace of God you make me the presidential candidate and I become the president, I'll do much more. I'll do much more for all of us. This is why my track record, my political experience, this is why the whole country, the whole party is behind me.
You heard Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, students and old boys of the Opoku-Ware School had high hopes of avenging the Odadi of Presec Legon in the 2023 finals of the National Science and Maths Quiz. But whilst arguably one of the schools with the most grand finale appearances in the competition seems not to have figured out how to revenge the Blue Magicians, Emmanuel Bright-Kweku has more.
Opoku-Ware School.
Optimism echoed within the four walls of the National Theatre as the boys from Opoku-Ware patriotically sang their school's anthem. After then began the contest.
Opoku-Ware School. What makes exposure to carbon monoxide dangerous?
When carbon monoxide is introduced into the blood instead of the regular carbon dioxide, it bonds with the hemoglobin to form carboxyhemoglobin.
2.
A promising start of the contest, but the school only ended up bottling at the end of the first, second, and third rounds.
C is equal to -5.
That's incorrect.
Having been to the grand finale 9 times, the school has only won the trophy twice. Their last was in 2002. Unfortunately, 5 out of the 7 opportunities to lift the trophy have been to Presec Legon.
I'm feeling very, very sad. But we'll come back again.
We accept defeat and go back to the scoreboard. We're not going to sleep. We'll come back and hit harder. In fact, we'll press to kill again.
All right, so it's press to kill for them.
The school.
Emmanuel Bright-Kweku with that report. Better luck next time to OWAS. And now in our top story, despite assurances from relevant authorities to intervene in the treatment of kidney patients after Joy News' dialysis crisis thought leadership event, the outpatient department of Kolebu Renal Unit remains closed. Business is next on the Super Morning Show. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson.
Joy 99. 99.7 FM, radio for the discerning listener.
Joy 99.7 FM.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Behind every door lies a world of opportunities.
And with Absa's flexible loans, you hold the master key to open all the doors to your dreams.
Doors to a new horizon and everything you could ever dream of. At Absa, we help you open the doors to all your dreams. Whether you want to buy a home, a plot of land, or finance your personal projects, our flexible personal loans, mortgage, and credit cards can make it happen. Visit absa.com.gh to discover how to get things done. That's Africanacity. That's Absa. Terms and conditions apply.
No matter your water needs, Sintex has it all. Sintex Tank was first to introduce double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Sintex Tank was first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana, and now introduces the customer specs order, which will let you order any color and size you want. Sintex Tanks gives you the biggest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you. So whatever your water consumption, size of project, or demand, choose Sintex Tank. Sintex Tank, stress-free. Sintex Tank, reliable. Sintex Tank, maximum guarantee. Call 0244 335 168, Kumasi 0505 555 666, or visit syntexgh.com. Sintex Tank, a year strong, a year tough.
Hello, Ghana. I've got great news for you. After 26 years of academic excellence globally, Botho University is now in Ghana, offering degree programs in health information management, cybersecurity and risk management, software engineering, network security, and computer forensics. Admissions are ongoing for January 2024 with up to 50% scholarship for the first 150 students. We offer flexible payment terms, internship opportunities, and experiential exchange programs with our sister campuses. Pick up your admission form today at our East Legon campus near ANC Mall, or call 0302 523 782 or WhatsApp 020 990 4714 for more information. Both the university, vibrance, innovation, impact.
Mami Lono, NIB Loan. When you need a personal loan, you need a bank that you can trust. A bank with the best possible rate and the process easy and stress-free. That's National Investment Bank, NIB. You know what I mean, NIB Bank. NIB Bank. We help with your financial needs. NIB Bank. NIB Bank. We have a variety of personal loans. NIB Bank. NIB Bank.
Visit the nearest NIB branch for your personal loans today. You can call 0302 428 500 or call toll free on 0800 007 777. Your CIMG award-winning bank with over 60 years of banking is here to empower your dreams every step of the way.
NIB Bank. We have a variety of personal loans.
NIB, your business is our business. Terms and conditions apply.
NIB Bank. NIB Bank.
Bafu Blanket.
Hey, morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. You?
I'm okay. You know how everybody believes that the reason why we are the way we are and the reason why we can't solve some of our problems as a country is because of our constitution.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've heard it so many times.
I've also heard it.
Yeah. Do you think it's true?
Could be. Could be true. Yeah.
I mean, it's true that our constitution seems to put a lot of power in the hands of the executive president, right?
Yeah.
That's true. And some people think that's the real problem here.
Yeah,
right?
people also feel that the power is centralized. And so they feel that we should decentralize. And that way, I mean, things would work for the better. I don't know.
Yeah. So people say we need to amend the constitution, change a few things in there,
Would that ever happen?
Well, that's the first question.
And what would it take?
That's the first question. Will it ever happen? The second question is, who will be doing the amending?
Exactly.
Isn't it these same politicians? Will they not just do it in a way that favors them?
I think so.
Right? I mean,
I think so.
Wouldn't they just rewrite the thing in a way that works for them and leave enough loopholes in there for them to do whatever it is they want to do? Or will they not just interpret it however suits them?
Yeah.
Is that not what the problem is? That
Yeah.
they have taken the constitution, which is written in a certain way with a certain spirit, but they implement it in a way that works for them.
Yeah.
Isn't that the problem?
I agree that is the problem. And it would take a very bold step or bold politicians, should I put it that way, to be able to amend the constitution to go on.
Right. And no, I was just going to say, so today what we want to do, we want to bring in somebody who is pretty much the ultimate authority, right, on the constitution, in my book anyway, and talk to him about some of the problems of today, right, and basically try and connect them to the constitution, see whether these problems are because there's a problem in the constitution or there's a problem with how we use the constitution or apply the constitution.
And we've had this for some time, so we should be able to tell what is working for us as a country and what is not working, and we should be able to amend those things that we think that should be incorporated in the constitution so that the country works. Because and it takes people who love the country to do that, I should add.
Yeah, well, our guest definitely loves the country. Thank goodness for that. All right, the 6 a.m. news was brought to us by Total Energies. Total, we go the extra mile for you, and Absa Bank Ghana Limited, helping you find a way to get things done. Let's unroll the Joy Business Report. And it comes to you thanks to Glyco Life Travel Insurance. Glyco, we cushion you for life. And Africa World Airlines, touching Africa, touching the world.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, business community demands a problem-solving budget to spur growth in 2024. We'll tell you more. Meanwhile, government appeals to business community to reduce prices of their goods at the market to lessen the burden on the consuming public. And the Ghana Stock Exchange, hopeful new mining firm Atlantic Lithium will list on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Details coming up. A great good morning to you. It's a brand new month. Welcome to the month of November. And hello to our friends listening from Kofi Radio and KTU Radio. My name is Daryl Kwao. First up, some businesses are demanding a problem-solving budget in 2024 to spur growth. A former president of the Association of Ghana Industries, James Esareje, is one of them. He is advocating a more practical problem-solving budget and economic policy for next year. He tells Joy Business the government must adopt a better approach to facilitating economic growth driven by the private sector.
In solving some of the key problems, key challenges in the economy, what are we looking forward to address? Now, as we see the situation as it is now, we're looking for stability in the economy, a situation where businesses can plan. Because, we're not too much bothered about volatility, but the fact that we can be able to say that as a business owner, as an entrepreneur or a private sector operator, you should be able to plan in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year's time, so that all costs can be projected toward. Now, the second thing is also cost of capital. If we are not able to invest in our businesses and retool our business, definitely we will not be able to create the needed jobs, for the teeming youth.
James Asaria J there, he's former president of the Association of Ghana Industries, also chief executive of Asate Group Limited. Government has made a passionate appeal to the business community to reduce prices of their goods and services in order to make life bearable for the consuming public. According to the Minister of Trade and Industry, Katie Hammond, although the economic conditions are not favorable, some businesses are taking advantage of the situation to increase prices, a situation, he says, compounds the already challenging times. Addressing the 47th Annual General Meeting of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Hammond appealed to the chamber to consider his plea and act accordingly.
Whatever the direct or indirect causes for the very high cost of goods and services and your works in your shops and in the markets, I implore you, for the sake of your corporate social responsibility to your consumers and to the country as a whole, reduce your prices and help make life a little bearable for the consumer, whilst government reciprocates your gesture by establishing the appropriate economic framework so we collectively thrive as a nation.
Minister of Trade and Industry Katie Hammond there. Some businesses are eagerly awaiting the cocoa loan syndication and IMF inflows to come in time to help strengthen the Ghana cedi. The cedi has come under severe pressure ahead of the Christmas festivity. Here's George Yafe.
Some of these firms that Joy Business has been engaging, they've argued that they decided to put their dollar-denominated transactions on hold. This because at the current rate the dollar is selling to the Ghana cedi, if they go ahead with their transactions, it could be hurting their business badly. Some of them have also argued that their actions have been influenced by the advice coming from their banks in terms of the outlook for the Ghana cedi in the coming weeks. We've even picked up that based on the outlook for the local currency, the margin of increase in prices of petroleum products have been lowered compared to what was projected earlier this week. The current pressure on the Ghana cedi has been linked to the seasonal demand for dollars by businesses as they import for the festive season, pick up in economic activities, and what some have described as a strong dollar on the international market. Well, as you get worried about the Christmas challenge when it comes to the Ghana cedi, maybe we have to prepare hard for the first quarter of next year, as businesses will again move to demand more dollars to finance imports as they try to restock for the rest of the year.
Georgia Fifth there. Let's check the currency market for you this morning. The dollar going for 12 cedis 8 pesos, that's on the forex or retail market. The pound going for 14 cedis 55 pesos, and the euro going for 12 cedis 55 pesos. Now, the government is embarking on direct engagement with the private sector aimed at improving the business environment to support their growth and the economy. Dubbed the Ghana Mutual Prosperity Dialogue Program, it will seek to roll out initiatives that will help attract more foreign capital and domestic investments. Ken Oforiatta is Minister of Finance.
Over this period, we've met with AGI, GUTA, Chamber of Commerce, all of that to take in their views. And predominantly is a multiplicity of taxes that they have raised as a major concern that we have to look at. So looking at the taxes, looking at access to capital, and the price of capital, I think will be key issues to address for the private sector.
You heard Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta. The Ghana Stock Exchange is hopeful new mining firm Atlantic Lithium will list on the local bourse soon. Per the new mining lease, mining firms are required to list and trade on the stock market. Speaking at the GSC organized Facts Behind the Figures program, Managing Director Abnamwa also urged state-owned enterprises to raise capital on the bourse. Ms. Amwa spoke about some market developments her outfit is championing.
In terms of market development, many of you would have heard recently that a company called Atlantic Lithium has been approved, which has received a mining lease recently, is required to list on the stock market. So we are looking forward to welcoming them. We are looking forward to the state-owned enterprises that we've been working with over the last few years to come to market to raise capital. In terms of new products, we are working with the entire industry to bring in new services, market making. One of the stockbrokers raised that today. We are now coming up with a framework so that GCB can actually appoint a market maker. It doesn't stop you from doing that today, but more organized framework to enable you interact and take advantages in the secondary trading of your securities.
And you heard the Managing Director of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Abner Amwa. You're listening to the Joy Business Report. Now, Johannes Klou never dreamt for a minute that he would have the opportunity ever of meeting a head of state, not to speak of French President Emmanuel Macron. But that's how far his entrepreneurial journey has taken him. It started as a pastime, but today Johannes's company, Logon Voice Limited, is providing digital solutions which are helping businesses scale up the operations. We bring you the second part of our feature on Logon Voice Limited on the Joy Business Fan.
Okay, we were doing building system and we needed money to build more. And then we decided to now start selling what we have. We didn't really understand anything about doing business. What exactly happened between two people to say doing business? We really don't have any idea. So we started like playing around, going out and selling and trying to sell. It was not working at all. It was not working at all.
It was not easy attempting to start a business. Johannes and his team tried to sell their products to companies but kept getting rejected.
The security man were rejecting us out. But that's how it was. You know, we keep on doing it. We keep on going to company A to B to C until some people understood that this is what we had.
Although they had good products, Johannes believes one of the reasons they could not get the buy-in of companies was because they lacked confidence. And in the space, he had no experience. But as they got rejected many times, Johannes and his team learned from their mistakes. It was only a matter of time and they got their first breakthrough. Catch the full episode 1 p.m. right after the Joy Business Report, 5 p.m. on Business Live on the Joy News channel. The story of Logon Voice Limited, a story of hard work and resilience. You don't want to miss it. Before we go, though, here's a look at the commodity market. Crude oil selling at $87 a barrel. Gold lost $6 to open trading at $1,977 an ounce. Cocoa open trading at $3,817 a ton after falling by $9. There is more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Do head there for the latest business stories. So keep your dials here on Joy 99.7 FM as the award-winning Super Morning Show continues with Kojo Yankson, who majestically assumes his seat to continue with the program.
The next time there's a jubilee in the UK and we need someone to come and do commentary of how the dignitaries are moving around, we'll call you.
Yeah.
Yes, and King Charles has majestically taken one step. Another majestic step follows.
But
majestic step.
You know what time it is, right?
What time is it?
It's 8 o'clock. It's time to dominate.
It's
It's been 8 o'clock.
It's been 8 o'clock for about 2 days now.
Yeah.
You people get over it too. John Dumelo did the backward walk.
Oh yeah, he did that. I saw that on X.
Yes. Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah. And it drew quite a crowd as well. So, win-win, right?
Win-win.
Okay, now, you see, I want to learn Ga. So, Aaron has started giving
yesterday was a Ga song, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yesterday was
Kafu. Yesterday was Kafu and today's.
Now, this one, if I hadn't been given some tutelage, I would have said the title is Mile. Because it's spelled M-I-L-E.
Hey, oh.
Or if I had been told that it's a Ghanaian language, I might have said Mille.
Well, that was what was coming to mind.
Mille, but apparently it's Mille.
Mille, yeah.
Which means I know. It's by one of my favorite vocalists, Luigi McLean.
Oh, okay.
Great voice. Mille. Hey, I'll get a discount on my rent pay. My gun landlords are impressed. Here it is. It's our inspirational song, and it's brought to us this morning, as always, by Duraplast Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank. The only water storage tank with a level indicator. So, where Duraplast goes, water flows.
Mille.
The Ghana lessons are going well. So Mile means I know. How do you say I don't know in Ghana? Churchill.
I don't know.
So I'm trying to figure out where Winston stands generally on language, right? Whether he wants people to speak as many languages as they can, or whether he is against it.
Why?
I want to understand, because when you do say it right, and you try and correct maybe some mispronunciation or something, Winston will become the defense lawyer of everyone who mispronounces it.
Yeah.
But if you ask Winston to teach you how to say something in another language,
but do you speak? I think it's Ile or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. Ile.
Yeah.
So Mile means I know.
No, but
Ile means I don't know.
Mile, no, I'm not sure you're pronouncing it right.
Mile.
Ile means I know. Ile means I don't know. It's the stress that makes the difference.
Yeah.
Help me again.
I am not ready for a Ghana.
I need to take time.
You don't want to teach me that thing. No, Thank you, Raymond. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, at least somebody is interested in my literacy.
Mm-hmm. So the stress is what makes the difference.
So the Mile that I'm saying here, what does it mean?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because it's the title of the song. It says Mile, and then into brackets, I know.
Kojo will teach you.
Please do. Somebody has to. Hello everyone. Hello Ray. How you doing?
Very well. But point of correction.
Yes.
I have only explained to you why people speak the way they speak. Okay.
Yes.
Is that to the defense?
Defense lawyer. Defense lawyer of all mispronouncers.
It's how people speak. It's actually a subject of research in contrastive analysis.
That's right. The defense rests. Okay. By the way, I hope you've all received your packages this morning. Yes. Professor Ensua Mensah, good morning to you. She sent us some wonderful publications, and we're very pleased.
Good morning, Prof. No, it's book. Nobody's giving any food. Aaron is raising his hand there.
It's a book.
Yes.
Aaron, do you still want it?
It's a powerful book.
Pass around.
Aaron says if it's a book, then he doesn't want it. Oh.
Anyway. So, Prof, we are very grateful.
Yes,
we're very grateful. I like the inspirational words in there.
Yes.
I'll tell you. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to our Drive Safe campaign for this morning, brought to us by Joy News and the Multimedia Group and supported by Toyota Superior Quality. So avoid all distractions. Okay, let me share this one with you. It says, stay alert. Now, being alert, not sleepy or under the influence, allows you to react quickly to potential problems, like when the driver in the car ahead slams on the brakes at the last minute. Obviously, alcohol or drugs, including prescription and over-the-counter drugs, could affect a driver's reaction time and judgment. Driving while drowsy has the same effect and is one of the leading causes of crashes. So rest before your road trip.
Very important. All right.
Let's learn to say it right. Say It Right is brought to you by Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks. And Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you.
Something must be done. You say either. I say either.
I am bored. Now, what do I mean when I say that? I'll give you a hint. It does not mean I am angry. I've noticed that some people use bored to mean upset or unhappy. Now, that may or may not have originated from the pidgin expression abor, which means I'm angry. But in English, I am bored simply means I am uninterested in or unoccupied by my current activity. It originates from an old Germanic word, boron, which means to be tiresome or dull. So there you go. If you always knew the real meaning of the word, good for you. If you just realized you've been using it wrongly all this time, make you no bore, because now you can say it right. Who thought boredom could be so interesting, eh?
All right, let's get into the newspapers, and it's brought to you by Syntex Tank, a strong, a tough, and My Way, a simple life insurance by My Life and MTN Momo. Dial star 165 hash on MTN to join My Way today. Who's starting?
Now, the Daily Graphics will reporting this morning, country's youth make future bright. This is the German Chancellor, and he passed through Ghana and said, I can tell you with such youth, you don't really, of course, the president was not at the National Science and Maths quiz, but he says, you don't really have to worry about the future of your country. It was very impressive. I have no doubt that the next generation has what it takes to continue that path for development and innovation of your country. I mean, he's the second Chancellor of Germany to have visited this country in the last 7 years. He said it during a lunch in his honor at the Jubilee House as part of his 2-day visit to Ghana. He was received by the president, and he was escorted to the glass door of the Jubilee House and was received by President Akufo-Addo. After exchange of pleasantries, the two heads of state stood behind the national flag of the official photographs, and he had a brief set of words. And he was talking directly about Ashesi University students.
Oh, he went to visit Ashesi.
Yes, and this it says he had discussions with this youth, and they were very impressive. Yeah, except that the standard Ashesi student is not the typical Ghanaian student. That's also the difficulty here. Yeah, it's just like taking it's just like presenting your very best.
The thing that gives me hope, though, is that the standard Ashesi student came from Ghana and was turned into an Ashesi student by Ashesi. You see, which means that the potential is there in every Ghanaian student, but we don't have enough Ashesis.
Yeah, it's only our mindset. Yeah, you see, in Ashesi they decided to do this, and all universities can choose to do same. Okay, I mean, if we decide to train students to be problem solvers and critical thinkers, we can do that. And I have seen people who have actually applied to Ashesi University, and as part of their pre-qualification and everything, they're being asked questions about the AU's Agenda 2063. So you have to answer these questions before you get to the school. You're already been giving assignments, and these assignments are not recall assignments. You have to sit down, think,
use your brain.
So all other universities,
It is possible.
It is possible.
Yeah. Yep.
It is so possible. I don't understand why we have to make things so difficult. I remember I had a lecturer who said, well, if you insult me on your paper, I would insult you with the marks. Oh, and we asked, what is the insult all about? He says, but you must first of all tell me what I know before you add what you know. If you don't tell me what I know, you are insulting me, and I would also teach you a lesson on your paper.
Why? Has he forgotten what he knows? Why does he need someone to tell him?
Well, he says you must tell him what he knows.
One of the things that I was hoping that we could replicate, conducting examination without invigilators, for instance. That's one of the things that we know Ashesi does.
To that I say,
we could start something.
Look, when I was at Cardiff, the only exam that we wrote, you were asked to bring all your books. Just don't ask anybody. You have all the books in front of you.
Good luck referring.
You have beginning from morning till evening to finish. Yeah. Now, right.
I don't like such examinations.
Because
why not, Mama?
It will waste your time.
No, because the answer, all you can do is to find how you can go about it. But you would never get the answer in your book.
Yeah.
Okay? You would never get the answer in all your notes. All you can do,
open book,
is to learn how to go about it. And they are not testing. I mean, how you can recall.
Yeah.
No. I Bobby, we had this conversation about taking statues to the what they call examination hall.
Yes.
Like happens in the UK, but doesn't happen in Ghana.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
No.
For some reason, somebody believes that you have to really commit the statues to mind too.
Why?
Anyway, let's move on. Now, there's another story though. Some journalists.
There will come a day when the statues would disappear from the world, and it is only if you have them in your mind that you can remain a lawyer.
Oh well.
Okay.
Now,
that's just for exam purposes.
Okay.
Can you believe that? Now, some Jonah Lord's government for lithium mine agreements. And that's on the front page with another story about defining moment for NPP on Saturday. So Saturday, the NPP will officially have their flag bearer going into the next election.
Yep.
then as is expected, one person is leading, more likely to win it, and they will move on with their lives into having a duel.
Do you think it will change the dynamic of power at the presidency? Will Akufo-Addo become a lame duck as soon as the successor is identified?
Mostly people rally around the successor, but it also depends on the kind of person who is president. The president Akufo-Addo is not the one who is willing or mostly even interested in becoming lame duck at any point in time. You get what I'm trying to say? So the relationship between the
even though he seems to have relinquished the responsibility of solving our problems to the next guy.
Oh, yesterday he said he was still working at it, and the next 1 year, by the time he leave office, he will fix the problems. Oh, we were discussing, and the argument we came to was that perhaps somebody has told him that you can't do that. You can't check out. It's too early to check out. It's like we are paying you for nothing now.
I have told
Yes.
you. I have told you. In fact, when lawyers go to court, one of the things I've learned from my lawyer friends is that when you think about a question too much, you will lie. Mama, true or false? Mama, in court, when you think too much, true or false, there's a likelihood that you lie.
Maybe when I get there.
Well, so that's what my lawyer friends do, and that's why they keep asking you a lot of questions to make sure that, you just answer the questions, and then you probably may commit yourself. Now, the president was asked the question out of the blue.
Yeah.
And his response, for me, is truly what the president thinks. That response,
it came from deep within his heart.
That response on the 26th of August is really the president's view. That at this point in time,
I've checked out.
Nothing will change. So the change that you expect will probably come from 2025 when, as he expects and would wish, there's an NPP person as president. Okay, so yes, he can come back, but this is in answering your question, the moment the NPP elects a flag bearer, people would rally around that person. But they are also mindful of the fact that there's still a president in this country. Now, that person in cabinet will try to push some of his principles and ideas so that it becomes easy for him in the course of the election. Now, there's a school of thought, there's an argument that one of the reasons Kufuor reduced fuel prices in 2008, prior to the second round, was because of pressure from then supporters of candidate Akufo-Addo. That if you don't reduce it, we're likely to lose the election.
Right.
And so,
so he was thinking about improving the chances of his successor.
Exactly. So what would happen is that today, whoever is elected, that person, if that person is not already part of cabinet, he will sit in cabinet. That person will have a lot of influence on the decision-making process, because after all, within the next year that we go for the polls, that is the person going to be on the ballot paper, and you must not do anything that would hurt his chances, particularly if you're a political party that says, I want to break the 8. That's what is expected. There's always a difference between what ought to be and what is. But as Machiavelli says, he who thinks of how life ought to be is on a path of destruction. Let's move on.
The Ghanaian Times newspaper, front page, Parliament to inquire into Akosombo Dam spillage. According to the Speaker, global community must seek resolution of the Israel-Hamas war. That's according to our President. Nungastu vows to enforce Supreme Court ruling on Nigerian Ghana Boteman lands. And this is the banner headline on the Akosombo Dam spillage. 19,743 school children displaced in 71 schools in Greater Accra, Eastern and Volta regions. That's according to the Child's Right International. And then 5 died, 20 others injured at Bedu following downpour and storm, windstorm. But I want to start on page 11, just a little bit of the figures that Child's Rights International has been giving out. More than 9,000 of the children could not retrieve their educational materials, including uniforms, bags, books, shoes and textbooks from the flats. And there are 71 schools comprising kindergarten, primary and junior high involved in this figure of 19,000, almost 20,000 school children who have been displaced in this disaster. And on the back of that, just what the Speaker had to say in calling for an inquiry. He says it is unacceptable that an activity as potentially destructive as dam spillage was done without a well thought through security and safety preparedness plan. As such, Parliament will take the necessary action to inquire into the matter and make recommendations for the protection of property and lives along the Volta River and lake and other settlements along riverbeds.
What sort of outcomes could emerge from this? Could people get sanctioned or penalized in any way if it is identified that there was some negligence, for instance?
We would see recommendations, but somebody must pick up if there will be possible prosecution or sanctions. But I think the best outcome from Parliament will be recommendations to the executive.
Okay. Let's get to the finder. And, that story about spillage disrupting education of 19,743 children. I don't know whether any of you knows about the Egyptian Knowledge and Skills Bank. Raymond, you've heard of the Egypt Knowledge and Skills Bank? Where it's a one-stop place for you to go. It's a platform where you have access to all educational materials, and you can actually learn even vocations all online. Now, Egypt, I think, launched it somewhere in 2020 or 2019. It was such a big event. I know that I was having this conversation yesterday, and someone drew my attention that Ghana has actually developed a Ghana Knowledge and Skill Bank.
Wonderful.
Which will be launching very soon. And because we're talking about the fact that many of these children, if they had access to electronic gadgets, could actually get on there. And we've been talking about the need to actually phase out these whole textbooks, paper textbooks. And that will be a one-stop place where all knowledge that you need, including skills acquisition, would be. And I'm actually looking forward to its launch.
Yeah. Ghanaian students have been taught online by Indian and other professors in courses that you'll be shocked.
Yeah.
And they appear to explain it very well. If you didn't get it properly. So this can be done nicely. If you get the right people delivering it anyway.
There's another story here. Richard Ahiagba donates to Lower Volta Basin flood victims.
Oh, so he was his personal donation?
Yes, according to this, it's Richard Ahiagba's personal donation.
Oh, yeah, because people were worried that it's the MPP's donation. And they looked at their face that were bit. I think that is the spirit we should count more.
But why would they be worried? See, nothing is too small, too big. It's what you give.
Yeah, okay. If you
well,
say
so they were worried that if it was coming from the NPP, then it would not have been.
It would not be enough.
No, if it's coming from the NPP, the people will say, "Oh, a whole political party." But this is Richard Ahiagba.
Yeah, so that clarity is very important.
But still,
finally, Dr. Bawumia concludes flag bearer campaign with Bolga rally. Ghana, Germany boost economic ties. What you have finally, Raymond, before we go?
Now, the Daily Statesman is reporting this morning. IGP assures traders of safety ahead of Christmas and New Year. And Akufo-Addo host German Chancellor is also here. And the Finance Minister to present budget November 15. So some 2 weeks from now. And since we have started a new month, we should be counting down to that important budget. Yeah.
Okay, let's go for the online news review then.
Which is brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goyle Good Energy.
Now, are you traveling from Accra to Lagos or from Lagos to Accra and in need of a reliable airline to take you to your destination? Then fly with Ibom.
Why are you looking at me? Yes, it is Ibom.
Yes. You are flying twice daily from Accra to Lagos. That's what you should note. 2 times in a single day. Ibom Air assures you of a unique travel experience and unrivaled customer service on board all of its flights. Book your Ibom Air ticket at ibomair.com and pay for your ticket via Zenith Bank's point of sale terminals at the Ibom Air's ticketing office. For an unforgettable experience, travel experience, choose Ibom Air. For further information, call this number 020-2325-226. There's an alternative though, 0303-957033, or visit ibomair.com, that website, or the Ibom Air office at Nesta Square at Airport. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Yeah. All right, well, on myjoyonline.com this morning, Alan Chermanting's exit, a source of worry. Nobody can refute it. Dynamo is the one saying so. Also, VRA recants Zoom Lion, denies signing fumigation contract to disinfect flooded areas. You see, there are I know companies that are willing to do this for free. Let's not do procurement out of this if we don't have to.
At least they say it's not going to happen.
Yes.
It sounds contradictory. The reality is that they contradicted themselves.
Yes.
That somebody from VRA had stated categorically they are contracted Zoomla Air to do it. So that part cannot be dismissed.
Yes.
So subsequently saying that we have not contracted them means that the person who told us perhaps told us the truth or told us a lie in the first place.
It means we have to
Either
find
way,
the
there's
truth.
a contradiction.
Yeah.
The point is, there are people willing to do it for free. Let's think about that. We're not creating 25 new constituencies. The EC clarifies that one. Is that also a contradiction?
No, they say are creating only one.
The one constituency.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it makes no sense to create 25 constituencies like that one. All of
we have
us
been asking them to reduce it.
Yes, like that one. All of us will go on a demonstration. 25 constituencies
IMF
in this Ghana.
Yeah.
IMF Ghana. We will not accept that.
All right, and there's a story about China's former premier who passed away, and all the mourning in China. Very great photographs from that event. Go check it out. Okay, I guess it's time for us to go for the BBC News, isn't
course.
it? Yes, and as always, is brought to us by Fidelity Bank, believe with us, and Old Mutual, 10 years of greatness in Ghana, here for a lifetime.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
My way insurance, send my way,
Hi, my name is Nanama McBrown, and I want to encourage you to dial *165# on MTN to join the My Way family. My Way provides you and a selected family member a cover against death. As a policy holder, you will also have a cover against total permanent disability and hospitalization should you be hospitalized for more than 2 nights. Dial *165# and join the family. Sanya My Way. No way.
My Way is a product of My Life and MTN Momo. Terms and conditions apply.
The search for a distinctive university to attend is now over. I introduce you to Heritage Christian College, located at Amasaman behind the Olympic Stadium, affiliated to KNUST and UCC, and accredited by the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission.
The university offers Bachelor of Business Administration programs with options in accounting with computing, marketing, accounting, human resource management, business information technology management, entrepreneurship and technology innovation, Bachelor of Science courses in information technology and information security, nursing, and a Bachelor of Theology. We offer student entrepreneurship training with financial support.
The entry qualifications include WASI, SSCE, GBCE, HND, and diploma in relevant fields. Mature entrants can also come if they are 25 years and above.
We also offer 12-month Master of Science programs in accounting and taxation, accounting and finance, and human resource management.
Contact us on 0547 777 731.
Heritage Christian College, a university educating compassionate entrepreneurial leaders.
There's never been a better time to own a home. Republic Bank slashes interest rates on all its CD mortgage products. Yes, switch and sign on to any of our CD mortgages. Enjoy ultra low interest rates and pay less to live in your dream home. Coolé! Call 054 0109 649, 054 0109 901, or email myhome@republicghana.com. Offer is valid until 31st January 2024. Terms and conditions apply. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
the world's richest person under 30, now on trial for fraud in New York. So what does Michael Lewis make of the case?
This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
Hello and welcome to Newsday on the BBC World Service with James Copnell and Devina Gupta. Great to have you with us.
Israeli Defense Force says its jets carried out an attack on the Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza, killing a senior Hamas commander. One local doctor told the BBC well over 100 people had been killed. We'll get the latest from our correspondents.
We also speak to a French member of the parliament on what he makes of the situation.
Also in the programme, Afghan refugees fear for their future as Pakistan prepares for deportations. Refugees have been rushing to the border ahead of a deadline, and we have a report from Pakistan.
And as politicians and tech experts from around the world gather in the UK to discuss the risks of artificial intelligence, we speak to one of the three godfathers of AI. So stay with us. First, the world news.
Hello, I'm David Harper with the BBC News. All communications and internet services have again been cut off in the Gaza Strip as fighting continued overnight between Israel and Hamas. Rescuers have been searching for survivors after Tuesday's Israeli airstrikes in Jabalia, near the biggest refugee camp in Gaza. Yolande Nell is in Jerusalem.
In the darkness, rescuers clawed through the rubble around several huge craters in Jabalia after a barrage of Israeli airstrikes. Israel's military says it killed a senior Hamas figure who helped plan the deadly 7th of October attacks. It says that when Hamas's underground stronghold was targeted, buildings above unavoidably collapsed. Hamas denied any commander was present. A doctor at a hospital told the BBC they'd received 120 dead. Israel has confirmed that 9 more of its soldiers have been killed without giving details.
Regional sources suggest the Rafah border crossing in southern Gaza may open on Wednesday to allow wounded Palestinians to seek treatment in Egypt. Our diplomatic correspondent James Landale has more detail.
Since the October 7 attack by Hamas and Israel's military response, Gaza's borders have remained largely closed. But various sources in the region have suggested the southern border at Rafah might open as early as today to allow some of the most seriously wounded Palestinians to get treatment on the Egyptian side. The US State Department spokesman Matthew Miller said good progress had been made in negotiations to allow foreign nationals to leave. Egypt has been reluctant to open the border, fearing an uncontrolled surge of refugees.
President Biden and King Abdullah of Jordan have discussed ways to ramp up the delivery of aid to Gaza as the territory faces an ever-worsening humanitarian crisis. The White House said that in a phone call, Mr. Biden had agreed that Palestinians should not be forcibly displaced outside Gaza. He also reiterated his call on Israel to respect international humanitarian law. More than half of Jordan's citizens are of Palestinian origin, including Queen Rani, who has in recent weeks criticised Israel's actions in Gaza. Hundreds of thousands of undocumented migrants, mostly Afghans, are facing the prospect of being deported from Pakistan after a deadline for them to leave the country passed. The Human Rights Commission of Pakistan has warned their forced expulsion could trigger a humanitarian crisis. It said the decision by the government amounted to forced repatriation. Caroline Davis reports.
Even as night fell, lorries kept coming, taking thousands to the border with Afghanistan. The Pakistan government has said it will start to deport and arrest all foreign nationals living in the country illegally. Afghans will be the main group affected. While Pakistan says this is about enforcing its laws, most analysts think it shows the increasingly tense relationship with Afghanistan, which Pakistan blames for harbouring militants that launch attacks on the country. Afghanistan denies this.
World News from the BBC. Senior politicians and technology bosses are gathering in the UK for a global summit to explore ways to ensure the safety of artificial intelligence. Representatives from 27 governments, including the US and China, will join executives from Google, Meta and Microsoft. They are expected to discuss how to manage existential threats like the loss of human control and bioterrorism. One of Australia's most notorious convicted terrorists will have his citizenship restored after the High Court ruled against its cancellation. Abdul Nasser Benbrika was found guilty in 2008 of leading a militant Islamist group that conspired to blow up Australian landmarks. Phil Mercer has more detail from Sydney.
The High Court has ruled that the government can't strip Australians of their citizenship, even after a conviction for terrorism offences. Lawyers for Abdul Nasser Benbrika, who was jailed over a plot to bomb the Melbourne cricket ground and other sites, argued it was unconstitutional for ministers to revoke his citizenship in 2020. Benbrika, who was born in Algeria and is reportedly still in custody, was potentially facing deportation.
Around 200 pupils at a school in Sydney have been evacuated as fast-moving grass fires burned near their institution. The children who'd been sheltering there were taken to another school nearby, from where parents were told to collect them. Education officials said all students were safe. Multiple bushfire warnings are in place across the states of Queensland and New South Wales. The authorities in charge of the Panama Canal have announced further reductions in shipping traffic because of what they say is the worst drought for more than 70 years. They blame an exceptionally dry October, partly fueled by the El Niño phenomenon. Crossings will be cut from 31 to 25 a day and gradually reduced to just 18 by February of next year. BBC News.
Thank you for that. Serving your premium morning radio show. The Morning Man. It's the Morning Man. Kojo Jackson.
Malamu headmaster ya na ne suit ya na mase. Adi. Anye jedin ho agim. Ye win mpa won famen. Wala shatala ehye. Ahye je twemfonyin. Me ya comment ho. De donko onko social media na. Ya ka ho asama nna subiu edu kwankran nkran nka hye no gwe hele edu kwankran ye loosen.
You cover. We are offering personal loans of up to 450,000 Ghana cedis for salaried workers with 2 months repayment holiday. No gimmicks. Switch to Fidelity Bank today and smile. We'll even take on your existing loans with your bank and help you live your financial dreams with discounted processing fees from now till 31st December 2023. Buy that car, take that holiday, or get a Fidelity Bank mortgage and smile with our fixed sum monthly repayment and fixed interest rate. Switch to Fidelity Bank today and smile. Switch and smile with Fidelity Bank. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us. Terms and conditions apply.
For over 10 years, Old Mutual has been touching lives in Ghana. Whether you're a trader or a student, an entrepreneur or an employer, or nearing your retirement, we have the right financial solutions tailored just for you. Contact Old Mutual on 030-7000-600 or visit our website on oldmutual.com.gh to learn more. And let's realize your financial freedom together. 10 years of greatness, here for a lifetime. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
Malamu headmaster ya na ne suit ya na mase. Adi. Anye jedin ho agim. Ye win mpa won famen. Wala shatala ehye. Ahye je twemfonyin. Me ya comment ho. De donko onko social media na. Ya ka ho asama nna subiu edu kwankran nkran. Nka hye no gwe hele. Edu kwankran. Ye loosen.
Can we dance? Can I show you a dance? Are you ready?
je twemfonyin me ya comment ho de don't onko social media na ya ka ho asama nna subiu e de kwankran nkran nka hye no gwe hele e de kwankran ni ye lose
Go for mommy. Go for mommy.
Pocho, chata no or your uniform bia.
Oh my God, Pocho, there's nothing uniform about the matter.
Osse. A shame.
Then cheshe wo gwe he ya.
Shame you complaining. Still like a shame bio. The last time we played this, this, Kwame Sapomasi said we were not correct.
He was issuing threats.
He says that headmaster. That's what. But let me say good morning to Stanley Martin.
Let me say good morning to the Attorney General. God red dummy. But in our best shazun one krenu.
So the headmaster says, "Muka kana me yene more." Yeah, you complain.
Like
and you see, he wore a different shade the second time.
He has a whole wardrobe of them.
Headmaster was Scooby.
Yeah, but
it's
no.
I decided headmaster. Anya is in the gym.
Nankashe wo gwe ware. Is that not where you are, headmaster?
Muhu na town na me say Anya is in the gym.
Anya yes.
And they lost too, so yeah.
I like the guy's term. I like the guy's term.
You are not being fair to him.
Anya is in the
school uniform.
But if it is school uniform, he has to wear it. But you can just dress like the students. But this one, there a jacket part there, Charlie. The thing was some way.
Stop calling it. Put the zebra on one side.
Uniform.
The zebra on one side, then put the man on the other side. Even the children will be worried.
Was it? Anyway,
so is that why they lost?
That's why the man is saying that it might have
the guy is saying if they even win, they will not give it to them. The guy is saying even if they win, don't give it to them. But I'm sure of Santa Louis. All students they understand.
Yes.
Well, you know Santa Louis.
Yes.
Maybe you know Santa Louis.
This one.
Oh, Santa Louis.
No.
Oh, St. Louis. Oh, they did the work. Fantastic. 1/8. 30 points gap.
Between them and Adisco.
So now it's Santa Louis.
Yes. So they are conquered them for good.
Yes, giant killers. Santa Louis.
You should have kept it in Cape Coast.
Why? Honestly. Cape Coast, don't they take pictures and put them on social media?
But at least that one, Charlie. At least it wouldn't have been so bad. Hey, Charlie.
Are you confident that the guys can give a better performance next time?
Yeah. Because our next take your time.
At the end of the day, PC is the reigning champions in Ashanti Region. They scored the highest yesterday. You are sure they are not going to just massacre you? Maybe.
Please, you say.
You are not sure that they will just massacre you next when you miss it?
Massacre you, bro.
How unconstitutional, bro? Who is that?
Massacre. Yeah, let's say, I like that guy cinema Mama Diego. What's this whole are you going to massacre them?
Massacre what? Massacre what? I said massacre in bro.
The NSMQ.
He thought it was a trick question, right?
Well, I don't know whether you've watched the full video, but then one of his colleagues comes there with English, talks about they can never beat us. We've beaten them before. In sports, we've done this, we've done that. We'll beat them again. And the guy joins them. Yeah.
You just use the supporter and gave him front row to come and speak. I mean, clearly, people have their talent.
And you bring the boy to come and do all of it. Anyway,
we have to move on. Leila says my stomach.
Anyway, let's move on. Because we have a great conversation coming up.
We absolutely do. And listen, guys, I mean, how many times in debates, conversations, discussions has the expression the Constitution is the problem come up? So many times That has been the conclusion of all manner of discussions. Whenever we've come up against a problem we can't solve, we've all looked to the Constitution and concluded that, look, we have to amend it in order for things to work. But that's an interesting debate in itself, because will amending the Constitution actually solve these problems, or will it not simply be amended in a way that allows people to continue misinterpreting it to their benefit?
If we believe that the current Constitution ensures constitutionalism, then amending it might not be useful.
Does it?
If we believe that the current Constitution ensures limited government, and the theory of limited government is pretty simple, that we know that when we form a state, we give power to a certain grouping of people. That group should not be so powerful that they now can use the power against their own people. So at some point in time, the checks and balances, those fundamentals of basically every constitution all over the world, every constitution with aspirations for a proper government, democracy, and all the other wonderful things that we want to actually aspire to. If your constitution guarantees these things, not only in the letters, but in the words and the spirits, that when you put them together, it makes sense that way, then we should not touch it. But we have agreed plenty, at least, for example, that when it comes to limited government, your executive lead, it has so much power, subject to abuse, subject to possible influence, subject to all the negatives that your constitution is supposed to achieve. Ultimately, constitutions are supposed to achieve dividends. We call them democratic dividends. In 2011, Dr. Kewa Amwako of the African Center for Economic Transformation was asked this question. He did a long lecture at Legon about how we are not getting the democratic dividends from our constitution.
Let me ask a question. Let me give a scenario, right? Yeah. Maybe that will help us contextualize this thing. Is it really about the fact that the constitution doesn't spell out clearly the limitations of power? Or is it that those who are supposed to practicalize the constitution are choosing to take the greatest advantage of the language in there to remove limits from their power? I'm giving an example. The constitution says the president can appoint people. If the president then decides that I'm going to appoint PROs and headmasters because I can, it's a problem with the constitution, or is it with the president?
The problem is with the appointing authority, the president. And the truth today is that, look, I mean, we've had this conversation. I think we had an aspect of this conversation. A lot of the problem is on the implementation of it.
Yeah.
So people take advantage of it. Yes, you can actually argue that, okay, so let's prevent them from taking advantage of it. Because we assumed that we had people who probably would have done things differently. Well, they've not done things the way we expected them to do those things. And so why don't we do that? But then we've also seen, for instance, that we've used, certain statutes. We've used law, acts, for instance, to correct some challenges with the Constitution. We've passed the Presidential Act, Transition Act, for instance, which indicates how you should go about things, because in the past were challenges with, for instance, the transition period, when we should even take stock of all properties and assets of the state. So these are things that we can do. These are things that we can do. But in all of this, the most powerful institution in our constitution, in our democracy, Parliament, has become the weakest. Parliament is supposed to be the most powerful. Unfortunately, Parliament today is the weakest institution.
But we also know
and it's
why.
By design.
We also know why.
Yes, it's they have deliberately weakened themselves for personal gain.
Yeah, but just to add that we see all these gaps clearly because the constitution is not linking to development. If we were seeing development, we probably would not be dwelling on the gaps.
Yeah, there was a certain promise, wasn't there, in the air when we started to fight for a constitution in the 1992 constitution, when it was being formed. There was a certain promise in the air that this will lead to development. Has that promise been delivered? Today, our guest helps us navigate that. People have been guessing who our guest is. Yes. A lot of people have got it right.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, then you're right then if you're listening.
Yes, indeed. we'll tell you who it is in a moment, but stay with us. The Super Morning Show continues, coming to you live from Kokomlemle. This is the CIMG radio program of the year.
That's right.
Wake up to joy, joy, joy. Sunshine and joy in the morning time. Yeah. Wake up to the Super Morning Show. Yeah. Wake up to joy, joy, joy in the morning. Yeah. If you're turning on your radio, go for some joy in the morning. On the Super Morning Show.
Welcome to the Joy Super Morning Show.
And Republic Bank, master of mortgages, is going even lower, offering you ultra low interest rate on all its CD mortgage products. If you're planning to own, build, or improve your home, now is the time. Take advantage of this window of opportunity. Call our mortgage hub and speak to a specialist on 0540109990, or send us a mail, myhome@republicghana.com. This offer is valid until the 31st of January 2024. Terms and conditions apply. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
And as you know, a poorly maintained car engine can age faster. That's why Total Energies especially formulated Quartz engine oil with age resistance technology. It's a breakthrough innovation that ensures optimal performance for your engine and improves protection against mechanical wear by up to 74%, even under extreme temperatures and pressure. Choosing Quartz from Total Energies is choosing the engine oil that keeps your engine running efficiently and effectively. Quartz, keep your engine younger for longer.
Now, Toyota Ghana has unveiled an irresistible offer, as Mama be corrected. For a limited time only, they are offering huge price discounts on an exceptional range of vehicles, including the sought after, the ever dynamic RAV4. Yeah. Mko just smiles. And the robust Hilux.
Give me this RAV4 by force. Hey, have
you touched it before?
Yo.
I'm from our video, Now that the stumbling block has been removed.
I don't want to call you Kim Promise, so let's go.
Oh, but yesterday the stumbling block was removed. So we can proceed. Now, the powerful Fortuner diesel and also the Lazarus, this car, Land Cruiser Prado. Then Winston walks in when the Land Cruiser Prado is mentioned. And
fantastic
that's not
vehicle.
all. When you make the decision to acquire any of these incredible vehicles, Toyota Ghana will reward you with an entire year of complimentary servicing. This golden opportunity won't be around forever. Pay a visit to any of their showrooms located in Accra, Temakumasi, Tamale, Takwa, and also Takrade. Alternatively, you can reach out to them at 0302 910 204. Credit purchase is also available through special arrangements with their finance partners. Toyota, superior quality.
All right, now Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited wants you to continue checking out kingdomstoreonline.com, where you can get all of their great stuff without actually visiting a branch. All right, and of course you can get home delivery in very good time. Plus, if you're in Accra or Tema, that delivery is free. You can pay via Momo across all networks for everything you buy. Terms and conditions do apply at Kingdom. Quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
And Societe Generale, your secure and trusted partner, is celebrating 20 years in Ghana. And this significant milestone wouldn't have been possible but for you, their loyal customer. So this anniversary is dedicated to you. It's been a journey of triumphs, successes, and innovative financial solutions crafted to give you, your family, and business the best outcomes always. Our partnership with you has seen you and your families grow, your business and institutions succeed, and many dreams come true. Today we're celebrating 20 years with you, Societe Generale Ghana. The future is you.
Now, Melcom Care, in conjunction with the National Blood Service, invites you to this year's nationwide blood donation exercise that's happening tomorrow, Thursday, 2nd of November, from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Visit any of the Melcom stores listed below and donate a pint of blood to save a life. So here we go. If you happen to be around Melcom Plus, North Kanishi, Melcom East Legon Boundary Road, Melcom Tamale, Melcom Plus Achimota, Melcom Aflao, Melcom Nanakrom, also Melcom Plus Spintex, Melcom Plus Tema, Melcom Ashaman, Melcom Kissiman, Melcom Kofrodia, Melcom Nkoko, Melcom Ho, Melcom Hohoi, Melcom Isligon, and then Melcom Cape Coast, Melcom Swedro, Melcom Takrade, Takwa Sunyain Wa Boga Kumasi, Adie Beba, and then Melcom Kumasi Hene, Melcom Mankasim, as well as Frafaha and Melcom UPSA. Get there tomorrow between 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and please donate some blood. Remember, someone needs you to live. Melcom Care nationwide blood donation exercise is supported by Graphic Clinic. Melcom, where Ghana shops.
That's very laudable, isn't it? Yeah. All right, well, it's time now for the nutrition line from Nestle, and of course they offer good food for a good life.
Having your baby try out different tastes and flavors isn't just about giving them a change of taste. This helps to develop their palate and prepares them better for accepting varieties of adult food as they grow. So go ahead and try any of our 6 Cerelac variants, that is wheat, maize, rice, biscuity, fruit pieces, and millet. Remember, each bowl of Cerelac contains goodness that helps your child's normal growth and development. Cerelac, it's all good, Mum. This advert is FDA approved.
This is Nestle Nutrition Line. Nestle Nutrition Line is a public service program from Nestle Ghana Limited. Nestle Nutrition Line offers tips on good food for a good life. Now to your presenter.
Hello. Good morning. Welcome to the sweetest corner of the day. Nearer and nearer draws the end of the year. I hope you're taking stock. I hope you're enjoying all of the blessings and all the gifts bestowed on us. We've got a brand new series for you this month. Welcome to Nestle Nutrition Line. I'm Jackie Ankra, also known as Na Ajiliso. And you, it's always such an honor to have you join us in the sweetest corner of the day. So please smile if you're happy and healthy. Throughout the month, we're going to be discussing iron, its role and how its deficiency impacts health. Iron is a mineral that plays multiple vital roles in the body. For example, it helps the immune system function properly to protect us from falling ill often. The body needs iron for proper growth and development. Iron is also important in what is called energy metabolism. This is the process by which the body extracts energy from the food we eat into a form the cells and organs can use. About 70% of the iron in your body can be found in a protein in red blood cells called hemoglobin. Iron is essential in making hemoglobin, which is found in the red blood cells and helps carry oxygen throughout your body. These are just a few important functions of iron in the body. Do please join us next time as we discuss some dietary recommendations for iron. So time to part, sweet company, but I've got my eye on you, watching you, making sure you do only the things that are good for you, body, mind, and soul. Do always remember that you're the reason we're here and your feedback is precious as we work in partnership with you for a healthier, longer life. Call one of these numbers, please, or send an email and let's keep the conversations going. 0302 517 020 or 0302 211 880. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Toll free 0800 12 0001. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to midnight. Weekends and holidays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you would like to WhatsApp, SMS, or call between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., these are the numbers to try. 0593 84 5697, 0593 84 5649, 0593 84 5708. You can send an email to consumerservices@gh.nestle.com. I wish you a beautiful day full of peace and many blessings. Succeed, shine, and rise as high as you can. Have a great day. Bye.
Having your baby try out different tastes and flavors isn't just about giving them a change of taste. This helps to develop their palate and prepares them better for accepting varieties of adult food as they grow. So go ahead and try any of our 6 Cerelac variants, that is wheat, maize, rice, biscuity, fruit pieces, and millet. Remember, each bowl of Cerelac contains goodness that helps your child's normal growth and development. Cerelac, it's all good, Mum. This advert is FDA approved.
Doing gets you learning. Learning starts you wondering. Wondering triggers thinking. Thinking becomes planning. Planning evolves to trying. After trying, you're succeeding, winning, owning. Now, doing that starts with outdoing your limits. Outdo them all with MTN. So, what are we doing today?
Have you ever thought of the one that makes you complete? An escape from the clutches of interest charges. With the Standard Chartered Visa debit and credit cards, payments are completed at the speed of light, intertwined with interest earning accounts. You also get unbelievable rewards every time you swipe. You have access to over 1,200 airport lounges worldwide. High credit limits of up to 100,000 Ghana cedis and up to 50 days interest-free with our credit cards. You also get to enjoy full multi-trip travel insurance for 90 days. Fees discounted at your feet with our globally partnered merchant points. Bills are always settled, not battled. Get the Standard Chartered debit and credit card now. Call toll-free on 0800 740 100 or 0302 740 100 or reach us via email on feedback.ghana@sc.com. Standard Chartered, here for good.
1xBet. Big bonuses, big odds, big wins. Download 1xBet app. Make a deposit and you get 300% bonus on up to 3,445 Ghana cedis. The biggest bonus ever. 1xBet is a reliable bookmaker. So head up to 1xBet.com.gh. Register with promo code WELCOME-GHANA and get a huge welcome bonus on your first deposit right now. Have a chance to win. 1xBet gives you more. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Africa's biggest football clubs, Africa's biggest football stars, our culture, our people, our vibe, our joy, our style, our celebrations. It's 23 days of Champions football action, plus $14.4 million in prize money. Catch all the games streaming at www.AFL Africa and on FIFA Plus. The game starts Friday, October 20th, to the finals on Saturday, 11th of November. The African Football League, our game, our home, it's Africa's time. Now let's shine together.
Alrighty then, yes. Welcome back from our tourism lessons. Yes.
I have lessons to share from the Upper West region.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
But before that, birthday messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by
MTN.
Everywhere you go. Bank of Africa, the African bank with global reach. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group,
as close as a partner.
And Franco Trading Enterprise.
Still.
Phone, Papa Pep.
Yeah. And let me start. Today is the birthday of Laurie Ann Hood. Laurie Ann Hood of Madonna and Charles School at Regimano Gray Estate. As from your mother, first of all, from your father, Michael Hood. Because I need to mention the mother's name.
Does it make a difference?
No, hold on. Let me mention the father's name first. Michael Hood, a.k.a. Papa Shango. Her favorite uncle, Jonathan, in London, the entire Hood family, and her mother, Claudia Amwating, who's compliance officer, CBG at Shashi. They wish you a happy birthday, Laurie Ann Hood, who's turned 9 years today. And today is the 80th birthday of Mrs. Georgina Jakuma Mensah of Ashoman Estate. We're praying for the Lord to grant her good health, long life, and well wishes from all her sons, Kafui, Kwame Malcolm, and Gamali, and also from the entire Jakuma, Oko, Mallet, Wagba, Agri, and Kwebson families, and all massive massive love to her. And she's a wonderful woman. Happy birthday to you, ma'am.
It's a happy birthday to Professor Ebo Texin of the Economics Department, University of Ghana. God bless you for all you do. It's from your wife, Professor Ejapoma Jekidako, and daughter Sompa Texin.
And all of us here too.
Of course.
Enjoy the birthday.
Enjoy your birthday today.
All right, this one says a very special happy birthday to Lisa Amwa Boabing. It's from your sister Nina Amwa Boabing. This one says glorious happy birthday to my father, Mr. Emmanuel Boache Ababu. And it's, of course, from Jerry Bernice Abed, Jennifer, and of course their mom Janet, and your in-laws. They all love you so much. It's from Jerry Boache Dankwa of Ghana Stock Exchange. There you go. I guess that means we can get on with the Joy Sports Center, which is brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go, Standard Chartered Bank.
Here for good.
1xBet.
Your
reliable bookmaker. DSTV.
It's your moment.
And of course, African Football League. Watch the African Football League from the 20th of October until the 11th of November on Joy Prime. African Football League. Our football, our stars, our time.
And I can understand, Kojo, sometimes when you go like this, you're tempted to say the things you used to say in the past.
Which is what? The other ones. Yes.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's very confusing. But anyway, my friends, Raymond, imagine sitting in the stands at Anfield, cheering on Liverpool FC and joining several fans jump and scream at Mo Salah's stunning goal. Well, this dream could come true for you because Standard Chartered wants to take you and your partner to Anfield to watch Liverpool FC play live. And it's just so simple to be eligible. There's an equal chance for clients and non-clients. For non-clients, download the SC mobile app, open an account, start transacting. But for existing clients, just transact more to participate in this campaign. Remember, the more you transact, the more presents you gain in the basket for that final draw that selects the ultimate winner. This is your chance to experience Anfield with your partner. There are other consolation prizes. Open that account and transact now to watch Liverpool FC play live at Anfield. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Standard Chartered, here for good.
And it's a new world of doing business, and your business shouldn't be left out. It's time to get a Momo for business today to accept payment from over 15 million Momo customers. All you need is a business registration certificate and your Ghana card. Applying to be MTN Momo merchant has been made simple and fast. You just have to dial *5051# and follow the prompts or apply online at momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh. You'll receive a reference number which you can use to track your application, so don't get caught waiting. Enjoy secure transactions and convenient transactions for your business with MTN Momo today. Note that the application is free, so do not pay any money to anyone for a merchant application payment solution. Report any fraudulent charges using the Momo app, available on Play Store and App Store.
Now, as Africans, our game is different. It's electrifying and it's spiritual. It's explosive, and now it's in a league of its own. Essentially, Africans do football the African way, and that's our game, and the home of our game is the African Football League. Kojo, it's already started. It started from the October 20th and supposed to end on November 11th. So we have 10 more days to go, and it's happening live, the African Football League on Joy Prime. Of course, you see, yes.
Games today.
There's a game today, right?
Two games today.
Two games today, right? Yeah. And what's see, you see the African skills, strength, speed, excitement, drama, suspense, and creativity on display. The teams for the maiden edition include Al Ali, TP Mazembe, Experience, and Nyimba, my favorite Sundowns, and also Wydad AC. There is $14.4 million at stake. Who takes it home? Watch and listen. This man would help Kotoko very well. That's it. Kotoko will be in there. Watch and listen commentary on African Football League, the home of the African game on African soil, where the African talent being showcased. The African Football League, our football, our stars, our time.
That's right.
So
only 4 teams remain in the competition. We have more coming up on the Joy Sports Center.
First, do you like watching sports and betting?
I do.
You'll definitely be interested in the offer of the world famous bookmaker 1xBet with high odds, a huge selection of sports events, and a cool mobile app. The people laughing across the country right now at your answer. All right, now 1xBet is offering a 300%
first deposit bonus. Sign up, use the promo code BETG and get a bonus of up to 3,445 Ghana cedis. 1xBet has a license to operate in Ghana, so you don't have to worry about your funds' safety. Join millions of 1xBet players worldwide and win big.
Thank you very much, Kojo. Good morning to you and good morning to all of you listening to us. Welcome aboard to the Joy Sports Center with me, Fentio, Tahir Fentio. Coming up this morning, quite a lot. Black Queens extend their winning run to 9 consecutive games under head coach Nora Hopto, and they're getting a step closer to qualifying for the Olympic Games. Also, Saudi Arabia to host the 2034 FIFA World Cup. We have details of that and analysis of how that came to be. Arsenal are not particularly happy with Thomas Partey's injury record. We'll hear from their head coach Mikel Arteta. Let's begin though with Ghana's women's national team, the Black Queens. They extended their winning run under Swiss coach Nora Hopto to 9 matches after they beat Benin 2-0 to advance to the third round of the 2024 Olympic Games qualifiers. A second half strike from Evelyn Bedu and an own goal minutes later sealed a 5-0 aggregate victory for the Queens at the Accra Sports Stadium. Lawrence Bedu was there for Joy Sports and reports.
Ghana's Black Queens are through to the third round of qualifiers for the 2024 Olympic Games following their 2-0 win over Benin at the Accra Sports Stadium. An Evelyn Bedu second half strike and an own goal from Benin sealed a 2-0 win for Ghana, who won on aggregate 5-0. Nora Hopto's side will meet Zambia in the third round of qualifiers after their win over Benin. However, they will return to action in November where they face Namibia in the qualifiers for the 2024 Africa Cup of Nations.
Alright, we can now take some reaction from the game. Here's head coach Nora Hopto with praise for her team's second half performance.
And this can happen. It's football. That we didn't have the best day in the beginning, but then we need to learn to fight us in. And that's what I demanded from my team. And I think in second half it went much better. Also, it's good to see that all the changements we do brought freshness, quality, technical. So the team went better and better. I think in the end it's a very deserved victory. And still we missed some chances, especially in second half.
Black Queens head coach Nora Hopto, 31 goals in 9 games. And they've won every single one of them without conceding a goal in the process. As you heard in Lawrence Bedu's report, the Black Queens will face 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup debutant Zambia in the next round of qualifiers, with another World Cup debutant Morocco potentially waiting in the fourth and final round. Only one of these teams will qualify for next year's Olympic Games, with Africa's other slot coming from Nigeria and Cameroon's side of the draw. Remember, the Black Queens have never qualified for the Olympic Games. Now, the Baba Yara Stadium in Kumasi has been confirmed as venue for Ghana's first home game in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Madagascar. According to FIFA, the game is scheduled for 4 p.m. kickoff on Friday, November 17, 2023. Ghana last beat Madagascar 3-0 in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier at the Cape Coast Stadium in June 2022. Earlier this year, they drew 0-0 in the return leg. Now, one man that is doubtful for that game is Thomas Partey. The Arsenal man is a major doubt because of a current injury that he has. His manager, Mikel Arteta, has admitted the club is very frustrated with Partey's injury record. The Ghana deputy captain has played just 4 games this season and is currently sidelined for an unknown number of weeks. Arteta says the club is very concerned by the 31-year-old's constant injuries.
He will be out for weeks. I don't know how long, but yes, he's got another appointment today, and we will see more after that. Yes, it's a big concern because when Thomas is fit and available and he's been part of the team, we've seen what the results and the impact that he had in the team. And this season we have more protection, especially for that reason as well, because we know in the last 2 seasons what had happened and the impact that I had in the team. So we have to address that. And now it's happened, and it happened in football. I'm so sorry for him because I think he's doing every single thing that he can do right. To be there, he was gutted. We are all for him, but he needs to lift himself up again with our support and go again, because he's a player that is critical for us.
That's Mikel Arteta there. Partey, of course, will not be involved tonight when Arsenal take on West Ham in the EFL Cup round of 16 tie. Man United host Newcastle, Liverpool go to Bournemouth, and Chelsea take on Blackburn in the pick of the lot. Now, the semi-final second leg ties of the African Football League will take centre stage tonight as 4 teams battle for a place in the final of CAF's inaugural competition. Al Ahly host Mamelodi Sundowns in Cairo, trailing 1-0 from the first leg, while Esperance de Tunis will hope to overturn a 1-0 first leg deficit when they welcome rivals Wydad Athletic Club to Tunisia. That game is at 3 p.m. before Al Ahly versus Sundowns at 6, with both games live on the Joy Prime channel. Now, Joy Sports' Sichofe Philip Achirim believes Al Ahly and Wydad have enough to progress to the final, but Daniel Cranton has his doubts over Al Ahly in particular.
I think Ali at home, we know how difficult they can be. Rulani Makwena is a fantastic coach. Over the quarterfinal, they went out by a man in the first 5 minutes, held on to keep the scoreline at 0-0, qualified to the semi. So the reason I think Ali is going to win because it's Ali in Egypt, but I would really like to see how Rulani takes his Sundowns team to Egypt to see how they can trouble them. Again, Esperance as well are very much still in this. I mean, WAC had the chances to kill the game. It could have been 3-0 for WAC. I think they were unlucky at times. They fluffed their lines at times, which means that you have an exciting second leg coming up, and I'm poised for that.
Look, we saw a Simba team go to Ali, give them a run for their money. In fact, Ali only progressed to this round on the basis of away goals. Yeah. They've not looked as convincing as we know them to be. And I think that there is a chance for Sundowns. At the start of the competition, I predicted that Wydad Ali final. I still maintain that I think Wydad will qualify, but for Ali, I'm not too sure. I think Sundowns can go to Egypt and do the job.
That's Daniel Cranton there. Before him, Suchofe Philip Achirim speaking on the AFL. Remember, those games are live on Joy Prime later today. To the Ghana Premier League, and there are 7 games across the country in Match Week 8 action tonight. At the Accra Sports Stadium, Hearts of Oak hope to return to winning ways against defending champions Mediama Sporting Club. Aduana Stars, they take on unbeaten Bofuakwatano at the Nana Ajiman Park. Samatex 1996 take on Lagos Cities. Dreams FC square off with Brecum Chelsea in Dawu, while Karela United entertain BBN Gold Stars at the Aliyu Mahama Stadium. Nations FC, they take on RTU at the Kwame Shea Sports Complex, and at the Nana Fosu Park, Machin United come up against Great Olympics. And the Battle of the Lions is on Thursday when Accra Lions host Heart of Lions, with league leaders and Shwatraman playing Asante Kotoko. Alright, let's wrap up with this. Saudi Arabia is set to host the men's 2034 World Cup after FIFA confirmed it was the only bidder for the tournament. Australia decided against bidding to stage the tournament hours before FIFA's deadline for declarations of interest on Tuesday. A FIFA Congress will confirm the host in late 2024. Now, Joy Sports editor Gary L. Smith is our resident expert on all things FIFA.
Exactly 2 weeks ago today in London, I was among media persons from around the world who listened to the Vice Minister of the Saudi Arabian Sports Ministry, Bakr Al-Kaldi, talk about how his country had suddenly become a superpower in the sporting space. What did not go unnoticed was his ever so subtle hint that the FIFA World Cup 2034 will be theirs. And now it is. First though, some background. You see, FIFA has had a rotation policy for hosting the World Cup since 2006, where no continent is allowed to have the tournament consecutively. That's why after 2010 was hosted by South Africa, 2014 went to South America, that's Brazil, 2018 went to Europe, that's Russia, and 2022 went to the Gulf and Middle East and Asia, that's basically Qatar. And ever since FIFA announced at the beginning of October that the 2030 edition will be hosted by Morocco, Spain and Portugal, the high-level Game of Thrones being played became very clear. In that one decision, Africa and Europe were sorted in one fell swoop, leaving South America as the only stumbling block to Saudi getting 2034. So, what does FIFA do? They give the first 3 opening matches of the 2030 World Cup to Uruguay, Argentina, and Paraguay, paving the way for Saudi Arabia to clinch this long-held dream. Human rights groups and sports washing critics will now be screaming all they want. And get ready for it. They are going to accuse Saudi Arabia of human rights violations, of this and that. But like the minister, in fact, the vice minister of sports said when we met him in London 2 weeks ago, the Saudi machine is here to stay and everyone better be ready.
All right, that's Gary L. Smith there with all the juice on the FIFA World Cup going to Saudi Arabia 2034. Mama V, get ready. You're heading to the Gulf.
Oh, that will be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun.
I'm ready for
it
the
will
adventure.
be fun. Will it be fun?
Yeah.
Will it be fun?
Of course.
As fun as your trip to the north?
Oh, my Upper West region tour.
Yes, you didn't go to Tumu, so I'm taking issue with that.
I didn't go to Tumu.
You should have gone to Golu too. Go and see Hilal Man's hometown.
I went to Duri. That's
Dombo's hometown.
Dombo, yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it? Did you like it?
Duri.
Were you shocked?
No. I was shocked
at the deprivation.
No,
and the development.
Duri, another subject, but I want to say thanks to Mr. Thaddeus. Sorry, he actually invited us.
He arranged.
Invited us.
Yeah, he's a big man.
And we were hosted by Mr. Johnson at the Royal Cozy Hotel, which is AKA Jirapa Dubai.
Yes, Jirapa
so
Dubai.
So we landed in Wa and did a road trip. Yes. Through Nadoli Kalio, seeing Mr. Alban Bagwin's constituency. Yeah. That was fantastic. We went through.
It's not like you had another choice. You have to do a road trip for sure. Okay, let's go on.
To Jirapa, to Laura, to Nandom.
Oh, wow.
I went to Nandom Secondary School.
Oh, nice.
And I went to the Black Volta.
You did?
Yeah, we went to the Black Volta. But
it's beautiful up there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the water is so nice.
Oh yeah, we got
as polluted as some other places.
We got some fish that was smoked right there.
That's what I'm saying.
To enjoy.
It's not as polluted as some other places.
And there are some amazing
over there we behave. We are environmentally friendly people.
Oh, we
care about the environment. So we keep the rivers
clean.
Let
the lady give us the details. I'm keenly listening. I'm interested. I'll follow you.
Have you told your own region?
Yes, by you until today. Yeah. Have you ever heard him talk about the Tumu? The first time I heard Tumu, it was Kevin Taylor that was telling me that you are from Tumu.
Wow.
So stop taking impression.
Raymond is just getting to know me.
Yeah, I know what I say.
Big advocate for Tumu roads, Tumu agriculture, Tumu everything.
Okay.
When I come and sit here, then some other will be doing this. He will be asking me to leave.
Wrap up.
If you give me time, I can advocate for all things Tumu.
Wait. I'm just talking about.
We are the largest producers of maize. Oh, our roads are terrible. We have livestock.
Friends, you didn't go there for me.
All right, cool. No problem.
Do you know about the mushroom rock, the natural mushroom rock?
Yes.
Yes. Fantastic.
Did you have fun?
Oh, of course I did.
Yes,
and I climbed a rock. Raymond still doesn't want to believe.
Yeah, the picture that I mean, people.
Was that? Hold on, Mama. Was that your first time in the Upper West region?
Very first time.
Have you been to the Upper East?
Upper East is like Bolga areas.
Yes.
And no, I haven't. I've been to North.
Yeah,
northern, yes.
Northern region.
Yeah, northern region.
See,
where is Damongo? Damongo is where?
Northern region.
Okay, so I've been to Damongo.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been to Tamale.
That's the constituency of one of the Jinapos.
Yeah, it used to be Mutawakilu's constituency.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. The Upper regions actually had great tourism. So, for example, if you go to Golu, which is the hometown of ex-president Hilal Leman, they have a slave wall there, and there's still remnants of it. And you will learn a lot about what they did back in the day to try and prevent themselves and fend off slave raiders. All right, there's still elements of that war in Golu. If you go to,
was it slaves by internal collaborators or slave by the external people?
But how did it work? Because the slavery works like this, okay? Internal collaborators raided villages, brought them and sold them to the white people. So it wasn't the white people didn't go to the north to raid.
So you know
to raid northern villages.
Take your time.
There are these caves.
Why you are being
Yes.
Friends, I saw these caves.
We need to wrap up because it will soon be 8 o'clock.
Quiet,
Caves where the people, the women and children would the vulnerable in the community would run to and hide in those caves to prevent them being captured.
Exactly. The remnants of that.
Yeah. Fantastic place. And there's also a safari at Jirapa, Dubai.
There is.
I had my encounter with the lions there. Really,
you were almost devoured
I saw hippos for the first time.
If you go to the Upper East region, everybody goes to Paga and go and see the crocodiles.
Yeah.
But there's actually another place where you could go and see. It's called the Picoro Slave Camp. It's a rocky area. If you go there, you see you learn a lot.
Daryl, you have an Upper West
Daryl has
experience.
never been to the north.
We'll take you.
It's approaching 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
it's time to dominate. Prosecco clock.
Oh, dude is not fighting for the It's the Super Morning Show here on Joy 99.7 FM. We've got 3 more minutes to 8 o'clock. Our social media messages brought to us by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Ghana, its commission test to know your HIV status and take steps to protect your health. Number 10, liver salt, a refreshing relief, and GTP lifestyled.
EcoBank Mobile to make me say, oh yeah. EcoBank Mobile to make me crazy. Download it and use it. It gon' make your life so easy, yeah. Oh yeah. Download it. You go enjoy it. In my rhyming chain. In my rhyming chain. Come make a download them for you. Cause you can pay bills, you can buy credit, you can pay school fees, even church tights with the Apple. EcoBank Apple.
Life is easy with the EcoBank mobile app. You can pay your bills, transfer to and from mobile wallet, virtual card creation, transfer to other banks, express account opening, scan and pay, express cash, all at your fingertips with the EcoBank mobile app. You know it's 5-star life with EcoBank. Can promise.
In 2 minutes, we'll bring you the business minutes. But send your messages to us on 055-111-1997 and post your messages on X with the hashtag JoySMS. Ketsi Consolidated Bank Ghana CBG, we stand with you. And Anointed Electricals, the generator expert, will bring you the Joy Business Minutes. But Anointed Electrical Engineering Services is into sales of ultra silent generators from 5 kVA to 2,500 kVA. They also undertake maintenance and repairs of all kinds of diesel generators. They stock genuine spare parts of all kinds for various generators, and they do generator rentals. They are in East Legon on the Lagos Avenue Road opposite Tomrick Hotel, in Tema on Tema, General Hospital Road, Community 9, just after the overhead, and at Odoko. That's where they have their head office at number 77 Anointed House of the Odoko Malam Road, Accra. They have branches nationwide. Anointed, the generator expert. Contact them on their hotline 0243 480-334 0243-480-334. Together with Consolidated Bank Ghana CBG, we stand with you. They bring us the Joy Business Minutes. It's 8 o'clock.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you, and Anointed Electricals, your generator experts. The private sector is demanding a problem-solving budget to spur growth. They want the government to adopt a better approach to facilitating economic growth driven by the sector. Businesses are eagerly awaiting the Cocoa Loan syndication and IMF inflows to help strengthen the Ghana cedi. The cedi has come under severe pressure ahead of the Christmas festivity. Government has made a passionate appeal to the business community to reduce the prices of their goods and services at the markets in order to make life bearable for consumers. And Americans are losing confidence about the economic outlook. For the third month in a row, the Consumer Confidence Index fell, dropping to 102.6 in October. And that's the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you, and Anointed Electricals, your generator experts.
Wake up, good morning, good morning.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town. Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
And it's a minute after 8. Thanks to Consolidated Bank Ghana CBG, we stand with you and Anointed Electricals, the generator experts, for bringing us the Joy Business Minutes. Is Ghana's constitutional rule yielding the democratic dividend of development? We're making meaning of constitutional governance today here on the show, particularly linking it to development. Do we have dysfunctional institutions because the rule of law has failed as a public good, for instance? Join our conversation. Send your WhatsApp messages to 055-111-1997. That's our WhatsApp number. Also post on X with the hashtag Joy SMS. It's Joy997 on X, and post there with the hashtag Joy SMS. 055-111-1997. That's our WhatsApp number that you can also join in this conversation. Big Stories is brought to you by Vodafone. Further together, latest from your partner for life, Access Bank, your number one remittance bank. Access Bank, more than banking. We're also looking into Parliament's interest in the Akosombo spillage and the effect that it has had. Today we shared with you when we're reviewing the papers, Raymond, the fact that close to 20,000 school children have been affected. In some of the cases, about half of this number, they can't even have access to their basic tools that they need for school. So we're talking exercise books, we're talking pens. I mean, their parents really don't even have places where they can lay their heads. So at this moment, those basic things that they need for studies, I guess, will be the least that they will be thinking about.
That's true, though, and those are parts of the things that when we have all the conversations about probes, about discussing further issues connected to this, we should be equally concerned about. This is a crisis. It continues to be a crisis until we have found alternative livelihoods for the people, until we have restored them to at least half of what they had previously, or giving them something meaningful to go on with. Again, I mean, will we subject the kids to the same education calendar like their colleagues elsewhere? Is it fair to them? Have they been properly assessed? Being forcibly taken out of your home and asked to actually find space elsewhere, and the difficulties with having to keep up with academic work is also something that we should consider largely. So this intervention should include a specialized program wherever we find them and however we are going to deliver it to them, so that we will not have the impact of a crisis of this sort escalating into affecting them permanently in the academic pursuit or in the other pursuits that they have actually been doing so. So yes, we may in the near future bring them some normality to their lives, but would it be complete? Would it include the very things that we tend to ignore, like quality education? Would it include having to restore or probably get to know that these are different levels of education for these people, so we need to intervene differently? And let's just say there are special education kits in there. Will we be interested in making specific provisions for them too? So we should consider all of these things so that we do not create a crisis upon another crisis when we seem to have actually been trying our very best to resolve one. And that is why we put together an interministerial committee. The presumption then is that there are various sectors coming together, working and collectively and comprehensively providing solutions to the current problem that we have. If it doesn't appear so, it will be problematic. So that's how we should work it out.
We need Parliament to pay attention to this, just like they did with the purported tape alleging with those allegations of the removal of the IGP.
If you ask me, they should redirect attention from less useful pursuits like that into more useful ones like this one.
Thank you. So, we have political parties come and go. They come with all sorts of promises. But beyond the promises, are there key things on which, we should stand? Should we hold them to something beyond them coming to give us promises upon promises? We will hear such promises again next year. That's why our conversation is really important. One of the conversations that we'll be having today about governance, making meaning of constitutional governance, is really, really important, Ray.
Yeah, it is actually. So, listen, we've been having these conversations for a long time, except that we've not been advancing the conversation. For as long as I've done this job, IEA has been doing conversations about winner takes all. The crux of the matter is the crux of a similar conversation we'll be having all through. How do we ensure that people are not so powerful that they use the powers that we are giving them not to the benefits of the collective, but to their private, parochial, and personal interest? That is the core of the matter. Have we bastardized the institutions of state so much and so well that they lose their independence along the line? Can we rely on the independence of the judiciary, for example, to protect rights, to develop our people, to enhance the space we find in? Because of all the arms of government, it is the judiciary, that's the conscience of society. It is that grouping that's mostly supposed to stand up for the people. Is it still playing that role? Those are the important questions we need to ask ourselves. Beyond that, though, there's SRAJ, there's the Auditor General's Department. There are various independent institutions of state. For example, what is the reason behind the current Auditor General's inability to ensure that people are surcharged? Which was something that started on the previous Auditor General after so many years with Occupy Ghana and Co. going to court and pursuing this matter. So if a court has ruled that this is what you should be doing, what is preventing our current Auditor General from doing so? What enabled the previous Auditor General? Is it the individuals, their personal interest in pursuing this matter, or there were real stumbling blocks? The idea of developing institutions is to make it so automatic that no matter which human being is occupying the office, would expect some quality of delivery of service from whichever office it has to be. I hope you get my point. So our services and their service, it's audit service anyway. The idea is that they'll provide service to the state in very varied forms. They'll make sure that our finances are put in order, that people account for the very things that they do in the very places that they work. Unfortunately, they appear to be subjudicated to a certain all-powerful lord. A country that doesn't have a monarchy, and even some monarchies are better than how we practice our own. So today, the executive lead can ask them to go on leave. Right? It will take years. The Supreme Court will still rule, though, but it will take years when it feels like this is a very useless time to make any determined decision. Then it goes to another area. So today, it's determining the Auditor General. Tomorrow, it might be another independent institution like NCC. It might also be another independent like the Electoral Commission. Have we truly safeguarded them? Sometimes too, is it the human beings themselves who feel that because some of the conduct of our people in certain institutions, it's not as if they are being told to do the things they are doing. They just feel they have to serve the Lord, and the Lord being the guy at the top.
Authority.
Yes. So is this something we should change? For example, the claim being made by Wole Matuguma about the Judicial Council. Is it time to remove all the political appointments from the Judicial Council so that it's not being made to look like when that council recommends Mamavi to be a Supreme Court judge after 15 years or whichever period that's required in there, the thinking will be that it is not based on partisan reasoning and that this judge is not tainted and that this judge is competent and qualified. Why is that there are countries that these issues never come up?
Well, we have a conversation on the constitution and governance beyond elections. Our special guest is Professor Kofi Abochi, Dean, UPSA Law School. Join us with your thoughts on 05511119997. Post on X with the hashtag Joy SMS. That's our big story. Brought to you by Vodafone Further Together. Latest film, your partner for life, Access Bank, your number one remittance bank, Access Bank. More than banking.
Now the Vodafone eSIM service is live. You can now be a Vodafone customer without a physical SIM card. And I know the stress of getting one. I know 100%. The stress of carrying multiple phones is over. Just dial *700 *6# on Vodafone to check your phone's compatibility and visit any retail shop to complete the setup. Hoping 5 GB of data and 20 minutes of talk time to all networks available to you every 3 months once you are set up. That's wonderful, right? Every 3 months you get it for free. 5 gig. The things you can do with 5 gig in this republic. And 20 minutes of talk time to all networks is available to you every month for 3 months once you set up. So every month, so next 3 months, if you set up today, that's 15 gig of data and 60 minutes to call all networks at no extra cost. So see now, if you are using Vodafone, just dial *700 *6# and get yourself a Vodafone eSIM now to get connected to Ghana's network of choice. You know, it's simpler this way, right?
Yeah, easy.
I know I struggled getting an eSIM. It was a big fight. Luckily, I got help anyway. So Vodafone, further together.
And if you're looking for 1, 2, 3 L-shaped sofa crafted to the finest detail, available in various colors for your home office or hotel, you know where to go. If you're looking for sofa that will give you comfort, is durable, of good quality, has got perfect furnishing, your destination must be Latest Foam. Latest Foam is your one-stop shop, whatever your choice, and most importantly, these days, budget is important. So buy from the best, not imitated, by Latest Foam. Latest Foam is your partner for life. It's your birthday today, Kwame Menu Edu Wilson. Kwame Menu Edu Wilson, level 200 students at Ashesi University. You're 20 years today. May the Almighty's blessings be upon you today and the years ahead. Is from your parent Ken and Cynthia Edu, your sister Amma Edubia, and the entire family. Kwame Menu Edu Wilson, enjoy your 20th birthday today. Our social messages on the show brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and its commission test to know your HIV status and take steps to protect your health. Number 10, liver salt, a refreshing relief, and GTP lifestyle.
Now, every day people face different emergencies. There's the police emergency, there's also the fire emergency, there's the medical emergency, and you name it. But many Ghanaians don't know their emergency numbers. Well, here's one you would always want to remember. *770#. Yes, *770# is that new EcoBank money emergency number. *770# gives you instant access to loans, fund transfers, utility payments, airtime and data purchases, and so more, even without data. So there's no need to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. EcoBank will always come to your rescue. Dial *770# now for solutions to your money emergencies. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Wake up, good morning, good morning.
Ever visited a shop, picked a whole basket of provisions, toiletries, and very essential things you need, battled a long queue to finally pay, only to be told you can't pay to a merchant number the way that thing they pay, but with Vodafone Cash there is no problem. Now on Vodafone Cash you can pay all merchants on all networks, easy peasy, straight, direct, sharp, from your Vodafone Cash wallet to any merchant number on other networks. So whether you are buying provisions or fuel, medication or food, whatever the service or need, just pay conveniently from Vodafone Cash to any merchant number. Simply dial *110# to make payment to merchants on other networks today.
Vodafone. Comfort, durability, finishing, quality. Choosing sofas and beds for your home, office or hotel couldn't be easier with an exclusive range of sofas and beds in various designs and colors from Latex Foam. There is so much choice whatever your budget. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
Hey
Cashman.
Yeah.
Don't you know Nana has assembled all of us and you are here making calls?
My generator is spoiled, so I'm calling a renowned Ghanaian company with an excellent track record in the sales and repairs of generator sets in Accra to come and repair for me.
Is it Anointed Electricals?
Yeah.
Anointed Electricals deals in quality and genuine generators with high fuel efficiency. We also rent generators.
They sell quality generators from 10 kVA to 2500 kVA. They have spare parts of other generators and can repair every faulty generator set even if you didn't buy from them.
Look, now we don't have any electrical problem in Accra.
Wow.
Because Anointed Electricals is right here at East Legon, Lagos Avenue, opposite Tomric Hotel.
And that's why Nana is calling us.
Okay.
Yes, if you want to buy a brand new generator or repair the old one, visit Anointed Electricals. Or if you are within Accra, call our hotline 0246 423 534
or call 0243 480 334. They have qualified and dedicated men on 24-hour after sales service.
Then let's go and listen to Nana. Let's go.
Gosh, after giving you the hint, won't you give me anything?
Anointed, the generator experts.
Buy one, get one free. Buy an LED TV and get a free DSTV decoder plus 3 months fully paid subscription. Watch your live football matches for free this festive season. Live sports games, favorite action-packed movies, your favorite African movies, all for free this Christmas at Electromat. Yeah, there is more. DSTV near Electromat near. Dash to any Electromat showroom now or call 0552 755 456. Electromat, your world of electronics. Terms and conditions apply.
on a wonderful Wednesday morning, and I've been looking forward to this conversation that we're about to have for quite some time. Even before we decided to have it today, I always wondered whether we ought not have a national conversation about whether the problem is in our constitution or in how we apply it. And there's no better voice to guide us through the thoughts on this matter than Professor Ernest Kofi Abuchi. Prof, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kojo. How are you?
I'm fantastic, and I'm very happy to see you.
Well, it's a pleasure here too.
Excellent, excellent. I know you've been up to quite a lot. We'll catch up very soon and get into our conversation about the Constitution. But first, a wise man once said, don't just make money, make a difference. And at ABSA, they believe in helping you make a difference through their personal loans. With an ABSA personal loan, you can get up to 500,000 Ghana cedis, collateral free, to finance your personal project. With a flexible payment plan of up to 7 years and fixed as well as competitive interest rates. The ABSA personal loan is just what you need to open the door to the life you deserve. So visit the nearest ABSA branch or call your personal banker to discover how to get things done. That is Africanacity. That is ABSA. Terms and conditions apply.
And you know, sometimes buying your car insurance isn't the problem. It is when you forget to renew it and get into trouble with the police or you're involved in an accident. Now, instant car insurance is now on Haptel. Get your instant car insurance sticker anytime. No long things, just install the Haptel app, enter your car number for your instant insurance sticker. You can also get a reminder for your next renewal date. So go to haptel.com/app to install your Haptel app and set a reminder to renew your car insurance today. Haptel is everything you.
Okay. Well, our conversation today is all about the Constitution. We want to look into the future, okay? Talk about Constitution, governance, look beyond the upcoming elections, and really ask these fundamental questions about whether our problem as a nation is the Constitution. All these hurdles we've come up against and been unable to overcome. Is it because there's some fault with our Constitution? Will fixing that fault solve all our problems, or do we need to be looking beyond that? Professor Kofi Abuchi is our guest this morning. Of course, he's the Dean of UPSA's Law School. Very prestigious law school indeed, especially since he became Dean.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Prof, I guess we can start from the beginning. The 1992 Constitution, you know, it was the result of a promise, if you will. A promise to improve the lives of Ghanaians. We felt that having constitutional rule would lead to development and there would be dividends that we would all reap from this. So we saw it as more than just a list of laws, more than just a documented guideline to how to live. It was the blueprint to our development. How far with that one?
Well, I think you've asked an important question. First of all, it's perhaps important to put it in context that in 1992 we had a transition from a military government then headed by the chairman of the PNDC, former President Rawlings, and then we came into the 92 constitutional arrangement. The epochal divide, therefore, splits into two, in which you have a directional leadership under a military regime transitioned to a participatory governance model in the Constitution. So what the Constitution did was to transition us from a directional leadership in which we had no say but were directed. We were told what to do on a daily basis, and we basically just had to follow, to a participatory governance model. And the participatory governance model is both in the area of the civic participation, the economic participation, the political participation, and other participation, but essentially the civic and economic as well as the political. I think if you ask people generally, and I haven't taken a poll, but if you ask people generally whether the 1992 promise of constitutional rule delivering public goods And when you speak of public goods, you're speaking of political public goods, civic public goods, economic public goods. Whether the 1992 Constitution has delivered on the promise of giving public goods to Ghanaians, I'm sure you probably have some mixed reaction, in the sense of there may generally be an acceptance that the civic participatory space has improved, because there was none before 92. And where there's close to zero, anything that comes is an improvement. So that area certainly has been improved in terms of people having the right to say whatever they want, people having the right to join any association they would like to join.
And people can be part of democracy.
Right, exactly. So in terms of the civic aspects of things, there appears to have been some delivery to a degree. I think there's likely also to be, and again, these are all my assumptions, but I think there's likely to be a general consensus also that the economic aspect of things, the state's presence in the economic and social lives of people, the avoidance of social dislocation, which is one of the major failures of states, i.e. the fact that you belong to a state, but you really don't belong. And the state essentially doesn't give you much. I think there will be a general consensus to a degree that that extent may not have been as successful as one would wish. I've indicated elsewhere that when former President Kennedy of the United States famously spoke of ask not what your state can give you, but what you can give the state, there was an assumption that the state will invariably give you something through the collectivity, because the state is really all of us. The state invariably will give you something through the collectivity, your payment of taxes, etc. The state invariably will give you something, the road you drive on, the public utilities, and all kinds of things the state gives. So do not ask the state for anything, because you will get it. The state is you. That assumption is already there, and that's why he emphasized rather you should ask yourself what you are giving the state. But when the state fails in terms of giving you a certain minimal social life to avoid dislocation and to ensure that the totality in numbers leads to cross-subsidization in a manner that everyone benefits. When the state fails at that level, that's where you have foundational questions, foundational issues, and I think those are some of the things that you mentioned in the earlier question.
So, well, here we are. We have this constitution. We've had it now for 31 years. I suppose it is fair to now ask, this failure to develop in so many aspects of our nation's growth, this failure to develop a sustainable educational system, a healthcare system that can look after all Ghanaians, an infrastructure that leads to industrialization and maximizing of the manufacturing sector, a failure to substitute imports, all these big national problems that no matter who we vote for, we never seem to solve. Is the problem the constitution?
To understand and to answer that question correctly, one needs to understand also the broad framework of the Constitution. The Constitution, generally, you split it in two parts if it's a skeleton, and you find on one part power centers. You find on the other part control centers. And then you find somewhere in the middle broad provisions of social goods. The power centers are the centers of the Constitution where the Constitution has created power and authority. And so, for example, Article 58 creates executive power in the President. And then Article 93 reposes legislative power in Parliament, and then judicial power in the judiciary. And then there are a series of other power centers that are created across the Constitution. Then you have the control centers. The control centers are supposed to be the centers that are to rebalance and to counter those power centers. It simply means that the Constitution framers understood the fact that you needed to create power. But again, a wise man once said, you quoted a certain wise man, but a wise man once said that, if people were angels, there would be no need for government. In other words, it is fundamentally in the character of human beings, and these same people are the ones who go into power. It is fundamentally in the character of human beings and people to want to go beyond and to do excesses, whatever it is that is conferred on them. So the Constitution framers understood that you need to create power. However, you needed to constrain the power. And so constraints have been created by way of checks and balances, which is generally well known. The problem with the constitution, it seems, is that its operationalization has exposed, in my opinion, what really is in the nature of our problems, our tendencies towards corrupting power, tendencies towards exploiting power, and tendencies towards using power for private gain. I think one of the biggest problems of the constitution over the years, as we've seen, is the corroding and the corrupting effect of party politics. And I think that this is one area the framers of the constitution underestimated. I think if you look at, for example, the provision on political parties starting from Article 55 onwards, you will get a sense that there was a certain general assumption that political parties and political parties forming governments will naturally act in the best interest of Ghanaians. There was that general understanding or that general sense. I think what the framers of the constitution perhaps underestimated is the nature of our political party history. There is a certain serious historical problem of our political parties in Ghana, which started all the way from the UGCC. And you'll be surprised that those historical dynamics are with us today. They continue to reflect in the relationships of the parties. And so what we have is a tendency for these parties to dig in and to create sectionalism, in which members of certain political parties, when they are in power, it is their time. And when they are out of power, whoever comes, it is their time. And there's a tendency of us against them, and there's a tendency of a cycle in which there's a benefit. This cycle is over, the new cycle begins, and this new cycle members, the members of the party must enjoy. So, if you ask me, I'll repeat again that the problem fundamentally is not the constitution. And I've said this before, that constitution reform can only do so much. Look, no matter how much you engineer constitutions, lawyers spend their time dissecting and understanding the weaknesses of the new design. And you will invariably find the weaknesses of the new design. It is the reason why the United States hasn't necessarily gone the path of rampant constitutional changes. The constitution of over 400 years have had very few changes to the constitution. And you can name them. Very few changes to the constitution. The famous of which is the 14th Amendment. But very few. They can name, the number is not much. And so the United States has understood that to really ensure constitutional governance, the black letter law itself does very little. And therefore, where you can have much success is by way of evolution and interpretation. So you build constitutional ethos. There's a book written by a guy called Lawrence Tribe. Lawrence Tribe is a famous American constitutional lawyer, in which he spoke about the unwritten or unseen constitution. That the real constitution is actually the one you don't see. And that real one is in our heads. Because you ask yourself that in reality, constitutions are fictions. I mean, we woke up one morning and then we gave this constitution the authority. So what makes us think this constitution is over and above us? We have decided to make it over and above us because in reality, it is a certain fiction, a certain legal mythology. And that legal mythology is generally accepted and we all follow suit. So the foundational strength of constitutions and constitutional rule are really in our heads. When a people do not have that constitutional ethos, you don't do much. And I think that unfortunately over the years in our country, our leaders have seen the constitution as a document that has to be negotiated around. And when you have that mentality, we will always point to the text to say that the text allows us to do something. And we do not necessarily ask the question whether what the text allows us is functionally beneficial to overall governance. And I think that's part of the problem we have.
So just what you just described, is it a text that is supposed to get the leaders to think that way?
It is not the text. As I indicated, if you look at the Constitution from the very beginning, Article 1, Clause 2 says this Constitution is supreme. Any other law which is inconsistent is void. And then the Constitution goes on and on, including the directive principles of state policy, in which leaders are actually urged to think Ghanaian and to think visionary in the context of Ghana. Overall, the Constitution, in my opinion, has done as much as it could for any leader to be able to use that document for the transformative benefit of Ghana. It is not the text itself. As I indicated, it is the ethos. Now, I feel a bit helpless in this context because some things can barely be taught and some things can barely be written. ethos and therefore ethics, in broad terms, are not things that you can necessarily ingrain in people. It is something that has to be nurtured. It is something that has to be grown with. And that's what I'm saying, that it appears that the problem of the Constitution is one with us, which has been a leadership situation right from the beginning of the Constitution till today.
Right.
And that leadership situation, in many cases, actually precedes the Constitution, goes way back into our historical times, in which our governance model and our governance history has been one in which you have had two political parties, which have evolved in different ways into different political parties today.
Right.
Digging in and getting a sense of ownership, one, of the political terrain, and two, getting a sense of a sectional mindset. That sectional mindset, if you have a sectional mindset, the Constitution has to benefit the section. And that section will have to, from time to time, exploit the Constitution to the maximum benefit of those who are involved in that section. I think that sectional mindset, in my opinion, is part of the reason why the constitutional ethos is not imbibed.
Right.
Members of that section want to maximize the benefits of the Constitution. And once you want to maximize the benefits of the Constitution, not for the sake of the Constitution, but for the sake of the section, you're invariably likely to have some of these
So
things.
I just followed up with that because, we have a provision that requires public officers to avoid unethical behavior or conduct. But now we're battling with that. We're looking for a code of conduct for public officers. And you're wondering, can we possibly write out everything? Can't they just, because you're a leader and because there's a broad provision like that, can't you simply just do the right thing?
Absolutely. The provision on the code of conduct of public officers, admittedly, is very scanty. Admittedly, it barely spoke about conflict of interest, and so that one can be expanded on by way of legislation. And we've had legislation that expands on many of these constitutional provisions, so I have no problem. But you also again hit the nail right on the head, that even if you do modify or amend the Constitution, the reality remains that the statute that you come up with can always be negotiated around. The thing is, legislations are fundamentally imperfect documents. You can never, ever have a perfect legislation. You can never have a perfect constitution. And if you can't have a perfect constitution, it means there's no way you can amend a constitution into perfection. So human ingenuity will always be a step ahead of the law. And if human ingenuity will always be a step ahead of the law, then the target should be that ingenuity, which is the manipulative tool. I have no problem with Ghana's constitution being modified to a certain threshold and to reflect some needs of our current time, which may not have been there in 1992. But focusing on constitutional reform, I think, has been the wrong approach.
We're talking to Professor Kofi Abuchi. We're talking about the big thing, the big question, the Constitution. Is it really the cause of all our problems? Can we amend our way out of the big insurmountable difficulties that as a country we've been grappling with? Now, he's already made a very interesting and important point, that the real Constitution is unseen. It's the one in your head, the one that guides your actions, whether or not it is written somewhere that you must do A or B. The real Constitution is in your head. So the problem perhaps in Ghana, according to Prof, is that maybe not enough of us have a constitutional ethos. Now that's interesting, Prof, because if really the problem here is a lack of constitutional thinking, constitutional mindset, constitutional ethos, that means chances are whomever we choose to lead us is going to have the same problem. He's going to be a person, he or she is going to be a person who doesn't have that constitutional ethos. Is that not the more reason why we should limit the amount of discretion we give to a person who doesn't have constitutional ethos?
That would be the simple approach, if you ask me. And the reason is the simple approach is to say, well, if the power wielder cannot be trusted, then let's limit his powers. It's a simple approach. The reason it's simplistic is because you may be solving one problem and creating another. Constitutional discretions are there for a good reason. They are there because leaders must fundamentally, on a day-to-day basis, think of options by way of policy preferences. Those policy preferences cannot be stated in hard law in detail, because human, society is complicated and complex, and you can't put things in a rigid format. If you do that, government will grind to a halt. That's what the political scientists will tell you. That if you take away discretion and you list everything in detail, government will grind to a halt, because new and emerging situations will arise. And those new and emerging situations would not have been taken care of. So discretions are fundamentally important. What is also important is therefore the constraining effect of discretions. And that brings me back again to how I began, splitting the constitution in two broad parts: power centers, control centers. That brings in the control centers. So the discretion is a power center. It's a center that allows decision makers to decide or to choose between alternatives and to say, I prefer A and not B. The question is not whether you prefer A or B. The question is why you prefer A over B. What are the cost analysis, the cost-benefit analysis of preferring A over B? What are the dangers? What are the risk effects? What are the various calculus that goes into that? And let's also ask, what are the private benefits of choosing A over B? These are the questions that Mamavi's issue of the conflict of interest, for example, the issue comes in. So the fundamental question is not necessarily taking away the power. Power is good and is conferred for a purpose. The question is how the power is exercised. And when the power is exercised, the question then is how the control centers kick in. Ghana's constitution is replete with good examples of control centers. Again, these control centers over the years have been mastered by the political class. So it goes back again deep into the history I speak about. The sense of the executive constantly seeing and viewing these control centers sometimes as opposition in some ways, and therefore how they need to be mastered and how they need to be tamed. So we've had many instances of, even Chief Justice. We've had a Chief Justice in Ghana, against whom the Ghana Bar Association went to court to actually challenge his appointment. And that tells you the tensions that exist sometimes even in the appointment of heads of certain organs of government. We've had complaints about key persons who have been appointed and who may have been dismissed and which have been challenged and have become the subject or objects of judicial decisions and therefore court action in this country. So the reality is, control centers are designed principally to balance power centers which are inevitable. Because if power centers are not inevitable, then you simply take the power, as you're asking. But if you take away the power, you would have deprived the power wielder the very instrument of his office, which is the purpose for which he's in office in the first place. And so he will not be able to be as effective as one would hope. So the power is necessary, but to deal with the power, one needs control centers that are effective.
Can I just ask about, just before you go, what these control centers are? I take it that the Electoral Commission, for instance, the Judiciary, Parliament, state institutions, Auditor General, are these institutions effective today? Are they effective control centers?
In fact, I will ask Prof to answer that question for us when we come back from the break, because I suspect there's a lot for us to get into there. So we'll talk about control centers, we'll talk about institutions that are supposed to be autonomous, right? And whether indeed they are. We'll talk about a few of the recent judicial decisions, all right, and how they affect governance. Justice Atuguba, famously made some very interesting observations about the Supreme Court. Prof, we'll get Prof's take on these, and then of course we'll look into the future. What should be the agenda of political parties as we go into this next election, and what should you, the voter, be listening out for if you want to choose a leader who has the most constitutional ethos? We're back after these.
Joy 99.7 FM.
A bank that supports you, a bank that cares for you. Hand in hand, we stand with you. So lift your head up, big dreams are waiting. We'll walk with you wherever you go. Where all your dreams come alive, CBG will make you smile. We will rise with you. Your business people, Bonya Bantemo!
Hey, sir!
Yes, Activa Insurance Group is 25 years. Hooray! And they are rewarding customers with fantastic prizes in the Activa Bonya Bantem promo. Insure now and win big!
Bonya Bantem Ampa!
Yes, from now till December 15th, win big in the Activa Bonya Bantam promo. Buy or renew your insurance policy and win a weekend vacation, smartphone, TV and other home appliances. Just dial star 713 star 313 hash or visit any Activa insurance office nationwide for your insurance policy. This promotion is in partnership with Malcolm and is regulated by the National Lottery Authority on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Activa Group, 25 years with you and more to come. Activa Insurance, our clients, our passion.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn, e no bath, e no chop, where e vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You no get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey.
Hajia, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor get water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank get meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selendion. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank they carry water pepe, so say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho, go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
We shouldn't have gone to that party.
Massa, my head is killing me. Is that your stomach? Yes. What did you eat? I don't know.
Get rid of your gastric problems with number 10 liver salt. Number 10 gives you quick, effective relief from nausea, indigestion, heartburns, hangovers, and hyperacidity. And with different fruity flavors such as orange and lemon, it's a pretty tasty way to end an uncomfortable situation. Number 10 liver salt from Ernest Chemist, because everyone needs a chemist.
This advert has been vetted and approved by FDA.
Are you hoping to start university this January? If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana right here in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless possibilities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently open for our January 2024 intake. Apply now for our foundation program. For more information, contact us on +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
My people, what comes to mind when you hear Black Friday? Jumia! How about free delivery and true convenience? Where do you get the best deals? Very well, you've heard the unanimous decision of the people. Jumia Black Friday runs from the 3rd to the 24th November. Download the Jumia app now and start shopping. Jumia, your everyday delivery.
Coffee in your cup.
Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Our guest is Professor Ernest Kofi Abuchi. And very interesting conversation so far, right?
Oh yes, we have a lot more to also, try and settle here on the show. I want to ask him, for instance, about the latest OSP findings and whether or not there's anything else that we can do.
We'll get his take on that and many other issues on the Super Morning Show. But first, Cal Bank and Latina Travel and Tours would like you to know, if you're in the business community, that there are still a couple of limited slots on the Cal Bank organized business trip to Turkey. The trip is from the 7th until the 11th of November. So please call Tina on 0244 260 789 to reserve a place now.
Now, ready to treat your callers to good tunes while you win incredible rewards? Well, earn points by purchasing, renewing, copying, or gifting your favorite caller tunes. And you can win amazing prizes based on your total accumulated points. Build as many points as possible, and you can win data to stay connected to the things you love. Or you can win 10,000 Ghana Cedis cash prize to splash on your favorite things. It's the perfect way to entertain your callers with music and get rewarded at the same time. So start collecting your caller tunes points today. Visit callertunes.mtn.com.gh. Caller tunes spelled CALLERTUNEZ, or you can just dial star 1355 hash to get started on the MTN caller tune service. This promotion is on till the 7th of November 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, let's get back into our conversation. We're talking about the Constitution, and Professor Abuchi has already pointed out that indeed the real Constitution is the one in your head, the one that guides your actions, the one that you rely on to decide between right and wrong. And the one that is written is the one that we have just chosen to hold above our daily lives, to hold as our guiding document. But the question is, how do we fix these perennial problems that our nation faces? Is it by improving the Constitution, or should we improve the actual mindset with which we apply that Constitution in our daily lives? Now, just before the break, Prof. Abuchi made a very important distinction between the power, did you say power factors or power centers?
Power centers.
Power centers and control centers of the Constitution. And Mamabi, you started to explore the question of the control centers of the Constitution. Prof, I guess you can take that one.
Well, the question as to whether they have been effective, I think, can only be answered by reference to their mandate. And I think the mandates of control centers, broadly speaking, are to check either specific entities in respect of which they are designed to check, or to broadly check the realm. You know, in the case of the judiciary, for example, broadly check the realm. I think that the answer can be yes and no. Yes, to the extent that there are circumstances where indeed they have been very effective. There are circumstances where decisions of the courts have constrained executive actions. There are circumstances where the outcome of the findings of the Auditor General has compelled action of government in one direction or the other. There are circumstances where SHRAJ has been able to make pronouncements that has constrained government actions, but even beyond that, that has been able to constrain private action, but private significant action, such as corporate entities, among others. So there are circumstances where we've had control centers, institutions that are within the control centers, actually exert themselves in a way that have proven quite effective. But it is also important to note that not everyone is totally satisfied in that respect. And I think part of the reason may stem from the two things, some perceptual, and those perceptual probably fed by hard facts, and then some substantive. Perceptual, for example, stems largely from the perception or the perceived, and I'll put this in an oxymoron fashion, but the perceived reality of the effect of appointments, for example, the appointments of the heads of these control centers. So, for example, part of the call for constitution amendment has targeted the appointment procedure. That who appoints, say, the Auditor General of Ghana, who appoints the Chief Justice, who appoints the OSP, for example, who appoints, the head of SHRAJ, the key heads of institutions. For a country whose politics has been very heavily patronage-oriented, people have a tendency of assuming that whoever appoints the head essentially has control. And so what
are they wrong though?
For speaking as an academic, I don't like to normally make broad and categorical assertions without the evidence. So there's been no research, as far as I'm aware of, that has come to the effect that indeed that there's a connection between that perception and reality. But one thing which is clear about that perception is its persistence. That perception has been persistent for a long time. That the one who appoints the heads of some of these control institutions essentially has control over them. But in the case of the judiciary, that is difficult to push all the time, because there has been cases where governments have lost cases under chief justices that were appointed by the governments involved. And so that may tend to refute the allegation that the one whoever appoints the chief justice of the judiciary, for example, controls that. From a lawyer's standpoint, lawyers typically tell you that is not the case, because there's a professional understanding of the fact that a judge, whoever appoints a judge, doesn't necessarily have control over the judge, and the same extends to the chief justice.
Justice Atogba talks about
head.
the judicial council and the fact that it's heavily appointment is directly or indirectly by the president, for instance. Is that an issue?
Well, again, it comes back to the question of the perception of whoever appoints, but that extends beyond the Judicial Council. The president appoints the justices of the courts. The president appoints, judges of the Supreme Court and judges of the judiciary, generally speaking, depending on the level. And so the question of the appointment, and that's what I'm saying, perception and reality. It is hard to say that because the president has appointed someone, that person is necessarily beholden to that person. But speaking from the standpoint of constitutional ethos, and particularly for evolution, the point I'm making is this perception has been persistent. It's been around for so long. And in the case of adjudication, there's a principle of justice not only being done, but being seen to be done. That is where the perceptual component becomes problematic, when it is persistent and therefore may need addressing moving into the future. The question is, if the president doesn't appoint justices of the court, for example, if the president doesn't appoint members of the Judicial Council, who should? I think that central question has not been satisfactorily answered. The problem has been identified, but the solution, not so much. Who should appoint judges? Should it be left to Parliament? But if Parliament has to appoint judges, Parliament of its own cannot just go about looking for who to appoint. There must be proposers. There must be somebody who starts the process. And even if Parliament appoints them, who completes the appointment process? Who signs off? Is it going to be the Speaker? Some of these things are easy to attack in terms of the problems they have posed over the years, but the solutions, not so much. And that's why I argue that the solutions may not necessarily be changing or tweaking the Constitution. The solutions may be us trying to understand and identify why it is that when particular persons make appointments, such as the president, there are perceptions that there are remote controls over the years. Because the problem lies in the perception, which unfortunately is fed by certain realities. And those realities may create the impression that it is indeed true that whoever appoints actually controls, even though that truth, if at all, may exist only to a degree and may actually have been exaggerated by reason of the perceptions that have fed that, and for which not much has been done to correct.
We're talking to Professor Kofi Abuchi, talking about the Constitution, and let's stick with this these control centers for a minute. Okay, and you gave an example, Mamavi, of the Auditor General's office. This is supposed to be a direct control on the discretionary power of government. How well has it done in that role?
The Auditor General's office as an office, I think I think we can fairly accept that it may have been fairly effective. And I say fairly effective because I think there has been times when the Auditor General has been assertive. There has been times when the Auditor General has been docile. There has been times when the Auditor General has been mixed assertive and mixed docile. Assertive to the extent that the Auditor General may have detected things and may have enforced them. Docile to the extent that may not have been so keen on asserting that detective authority that it has. And they're mixed assertive and mixed docile to the extent that it may have actually identified some things, but it didn't move forward to ensure that those corrections are in place. The Auditor General's role, as may have been structured in the Constitution, is to ensure that not only government expenditure, but more critically, government finances, the management of government finances, public financial administration is carried out in a manner which is scrupulous and ultimately in the best interest of Ghanaians. Invariably, the Auditor General is likely to come against some headwinds from government, because that's going to be an authority that is going to constantly call on government to rectify things. And so we have seen sometimes over the years in which there have been circumstances of challenges and refutations and clarifications and disputes, and one or two may have actually resulted in court actions. So that office appears to have done well to a certain degree, but it clearly has suffered a certain combative posture of governments. And that combative posture has created that sense of the Auditor General being there not only as a check, but almost as a police officer. But it's supposed to be a complementary institution. If you look at the Constitution and the way it's structured, it's actually supposed to help and advise government in the sense of the detective work it does, detective in quote, but it's supposed to advise on improprieties in terms of things that are supposed to be done in certain ways, particularly in terms of the legal compliance requirements not having been met, and therefore ensuring that government meets those thresholds. Like I said, the history has proven that there has been some problems and headwinds over the years, and this is one area that certainly can be improved upon to reinforce and intensify the control center, which is designed to ensure that the necessary power, again, remember, it is necessary power. It is not power that can be taken away. It is power that should be necessarily exercised. But that necessary power is kept in check and is regulated by the control authorities.
Is it also a necessary power for the president to have the authority to appoint or disappoint people who lead independent institutions like that? Not just appoint and disappoint, but also to populate the boards that control their daily operation.
The president's appointment authority, we can all agree, is quite extensive. And in some cases, some can be dispensed with without much of a problem. For example, the president's constitution of the governing boards of public or state-owned enterprises. I don't see the necessity of that. In the minimum, we even have a board. We have an institute of directors in Ghana. We have other state regulatory bodies that can even assist in that respect, identify worthy, notable, and qualified citizens of states to populate those boards or entities. So for that, I would not characterize as a necessary power. I think that can be dispensed with without much. The difficulty is the portion dealing with the appointment of heads of these control centers. As I indicated, if we have to go for an alternative option, what are the preferred alternative options? And the reality is this: if you pay careful attention, the structure and architecture of our governance system is of such a nature that the president is at the core and center, in such a manner that even where he doesn't appoint anybody, if you give the power to other people to make the appointments, those other people ultimately will find their appointments connected to the president. So the X who is supposed to appoint on behalf of the state, that X ultimately may have been appointed by the president either directly or indirectly. And by reason of that, that person whose appointment you are trying to decouple from the president invariably will still be coupled or connected to the president. So if you do not resolve the worry of the ethos about the president's powers and authority, you would have still ended up, with the same result from which you're running.
Right. I want to, and Kojo, if
Mm.
I may, I want to just get your thoughts on the OSP's findings against a former Minister of States.
Mm.
And this was just 2 days ago when his report came out. And I want to read from the report. It says, though the conduct of Mr. Duboahen amounts to trading in influence or influence peddling, which is closely associated with corruption, there's no actual criminal prohibition of his acts, in respect of which the OSP has a mandate to further act. And, the question following this is, if this is not corruption, if this is not an area that the OSP can go into, what is trading in influence or influence peddling? And if it's not in our books, then what can we do about it?
Influence peddling, which fundamentally has to do, with basically just saying I know X, and I can get you XYZ from X if you get me something, which is essentially trying to benefit from a relationship opportunity that one has by reason of a position one occupies. Essentially it is true that it is not in our criminal statute. So you can't find any such provision in our criminal statute that says if you benefit or exploit a relationship here with someone, you commit an offense. That of itself is not there. I think so if a charge is on influence peddling, there's no such offense. So you can't charge anybody for that. If the charge is for, corrupting a public officer, that is an offense. And there's a law on that. The question then is whether the constitutive ingredients, whether the factual circumstances for the investigation supports a charge of corrupting a public officer. And the Criminal Offences Act specifically has a provision on corrupting public officers. So the offense of corruption has been an offense in Ghana. It's not recent. It's been an offense in Ghana since the 1960s. That if you corrupt a public officer, you commit an offense. But influence peddling, the way it is put, if it has to be characterized or framed as influence peddling, that's not an offense. And in that respect, of course, therefore, the OSP will be right.
But what about when you use your own public office for private gain? Are there no laws stated that make that illegal or criminal?
There are laws, and it depends on how, again, you frame the charge. And so, for example, the laws on causing financial loss to Ghana. That law on causing financial loss to Ghana, under some circumstances, if you follow what you just said, using your public office for private gain, it may actually have consequences on causing a loss to Ghana. It implicates conflict of interest. But there are things that are constitutional offenses, and then there are things that are criminal offenses. They are two different things, and they have different consequences. So constitutional offenses may result, for example, in your removal from office. Constitutional offenses may result in parliamentary opprobrium or sanction. It may result in all kinds of consequences otherwise than criminal prosecution. But the criminal or the statutory offenses per crime, those are criminal offenses, and those ones you have to find them in the Constitution. The problem with this is that Article 19 of the Constitution states clearly, under Article 1911, that you cannot charge anybody for an offense unless the offense involved is defined in the statute and the penalty stated. So for criminal, because of the threshold, the higher threshold, sometimes some charges or some things that may appear bad, all of us will agree that this is bad. You may not be able to pin or put your finger on a particular thing in the statute in terms of the criminal law that says this particular thing is a crime. So even though you find it bad, constitutionally speaking or broadly speaking, you may not be able to put a criminal angle to it, and that's the difficulty. So, as I said, if you characterize it as influence peddling, there's simply no offense on that. But if you decide to go on the angle or the route of corrupting a public officer, you may just have an offense in that regard, except that you will have to have the factual circumstances supporting that charge. Because every offense has the factual circumstances and sometimes a scenario given, which allows you to decide whether or not these facts support the charge or otherwise.
The call for a Conduct of Public Officers Act, is it the solution to some of these infractions?
As I indicated again, if you come up with a law on the Code of Conduct for Public Officers and then you state in detail, again, they may help in terms of the detail, particularly because you may also then have the opportunity of stating specific offenses that are committed whenever there's an infraction, and then potential consequences or penalties that are put in there. So it allows you to elaborate on all these. But again, all these do not necessarily resolve. The one thing we have to be mindful of is that particularly the offense of corruption, it is a consensual offense. Corruption, unlike many other offenses, is consensual in the sense of the parties involved are happy doing it together. So if you fight them with legislation per se, and we do not build the ethos, we do not build the inherent character trait of people, the tendency of public service, being public service. If we don't build that aspect, combating it with law would only go so far. There are so many statutes on our books that anybody barely gets prosecuted because nobody reports. And until someone reports, or until we have a whole investigation commissioned, nothing gets done. And so the way to get action on these essentially is to ensure that we build the ethos aspect and we ingrain it in our people. One of the things I worry a lot about today, and I have to say this is part of our problems of the problems of our current constitutional arrangement, is the fact that the civic education aspect of things in our current educational curricula, and again, it's not just the current, but for some time, how intensive is our constitution civic education of our young ones? Many of them are coming out of school with very minimal or scanty knowledge of civic education, and it is civic education that invariably results in good public service.
There are some who argue that we have an educational system that doesn't actually change mindsets. We've designed our educational system to help people pass exams. So it's not allowing, concepts of ethics and morality to actually stick. We are not giving people an education that can be practicalized. So is education really going to be the right tool to change mindsets so that we can have more constitutional minded people to choose leaders out of?
Education is powerful, and if you want to understand the effect of education, particularly in terms of ensuring a broad-based mindset shift in the country. Just look at what China did with the Cultural Revolution, and how they've been able to move that country from an agrarian society to what it is today. And not just that, but it creates a certain sense of nationalism and a certain sense of nationhood in the country they have. Education is powerful, and it's powerful, not just the curricula, as you indicated, which allows us to pass exams, but it is one that we would have to use as a social engineering tool to get a mindset shift. Because I think one thing we all agree is that, look, we complain about corruption in Ghana today, but the reality is that we are corrupt as a society. And it is the leaders we have, they are part of us. They were part of us before they got elected, and after they leave power, they become part of us again. It's us, which then means that if we complain our leaders are corrupt, we should look at ourselves and remember that we are corrupt. We birthed them. So there's a problem of corruption, and that problem of corruption, I think, partly derives from the fact that there's very little sense of attachment to the country. I think one thing we can't dispute today is that increasingly there's a detachment of the Ghanaian from Ghana. There's a gradual detachment of the Ghanaian from Ghana, where people are more interested in the self as opposed to the collectivity, the self as opposed to the nation. And I think part of that stems from the character of education that we have. The educational system, which is premised on, again, to borrow your words, one premised on passing exams, one premised just on becoming a lawyer, becoming an accountant, becoming an engineer, and there's very minimum content of that concept of Ghana. And that concept, so by the time the young one is out of school, he has very minimal attachment to Ghana. And the constitution, we are talking about changing or reframing the constitution. In my opinion, the thing we need to reframe are the actors or the managers of the constitution. And those actors and managers, the future ones, are in school at the moment, and we're doing nothing about them.
Can I just take you a little back to the OSP's issue? There's a provision in Act 29, the Criminal and Other Offences Act, which is Section 247, which gives an explanation to extortion. And it says, a public officer commits extortion who, under color of office, demands or obtains from a person, whether for public purposes or for personal gain or for any other person money or valuable consideration which the public officer knows is not lawfully authorized, or at a time at which the public officer knows is not lawfully authorized, to demand or to obtain that money or valuable consideration. Does the OSP have the mandate to prosecute on Section 247, for instance?
The OSP has a specific mandate, corruption being the principal one. The OSP has a threshold of what character of corruption, for example, you can even prosecute. But the OSP's mandate is not limited. The law doesn't say that it can't or he can't go beyond the act that establishes the office. And so it's an offense which implicates corruption, and once it falls within the threshold, in my opinion, the OSP can look at that.
Because Charles demanded a benefit.
Did he demand it?
Well, allegedly for now.
Well, and I'm just from the OSP's report.
It's still allegedly.
Yes. So
for now.
Yeah. So he alleged. You're saying he allegedly demanded it, but if I recall that video that was made public, did he allegedly demand it, or was it offered him? And does it make a difference?
He asked for specific percentages.
Did he
allegedly
demand it?
So does it?
Did he demand it?
But I guess the question that I just want to ask is 247. Does it come under the OSP's mandate?
As I indicated, the OSP has a threshold and a specific mandate under the Act establishing his office. I haven't seen anything in the Act that says that he can't prosecute outside of the Act itself. The Act speaks about the corruption that he should target in the threshold. So my opinion is, once the amounts involved meets that threshold, even under the Criminal and Other Offences Act, Act 29, I think the OSP can look at it.
That's interesting. Now, words matter. So, Mama V, you were quoting 247, which says a public officer commits extortion who, under color of office, demands or obtains. So, in fact, whether or not he demands is not the point. It's whether he demanded or obtained. So that's of interest there. Some people are asking, did he demand it or was it offered him? And whether that is of consequence. But the point is there something with which his actions, is there some charge under which his actions could have fallen that the OSP could then have concerned themselves with? Professor Kofi Abuchi, our conversation with you could probably extend the whole day if we allowed it to, but we're being signaled strongly that our time is up, which means that we're probably going to have to make a bit of a series of this so that we can talk more in the coming days and weeks and explore further what we can expect from political parties that are seeking our vote in 2024 when it comes to constitutionalism and governance. But until our next encounter, I want to say a big thank you to you for making the time to join us this morning.
Thank you for having me, Pedro, and Mama V.
Professor Ernest Kofi Abuchi, the Dean of UPSA Law School. Let's take some messages. We're back after these.
For an unforgettable night of worship and praise, get ready to be moved by the Spirit and uplifted by the music. Join us on November 11th at 7 p.m. at MTN Stands in Worship. This extraordinary evening will take place at the Grand Arena, Accra International Conference Center. It will be a night of divine harmony. We have an incredible lineup of gospel artists who will lead us in a night of soul-stirring worship. Nasi, PSA Esther, MOG, Instroma, Perez Music, Pastor Edwin Dadson, and the sensational MTN Viva Voices Choir. Come and experience the power of gospel music that will touch your heart. It's going to be a life-changing experience which promises to draw you closer to God. Mark your calendars. 11th November, 7 p.m. Grand Arena. MTN Stands in Worship. A night of praise, worship, and spiritual connection with our Maker. This is an invitation-only event. Brought to you by MTN.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities of 1,000 cedis and upwards,
All you have to do is call, and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID. No savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. Call Quick Credit today, 0302 200 390 or 059 692 0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
Charlie, Chairman is still not here. What at all could be the issue?
Calm down. I'm sure you'll be here soon. Oh, guys. Sorry I'm late. Koti babbed me for road. Sake of my insurance expire. Some long issue, Charlie.
Chairman Pan. Hey, you make Koti Bab you sake of you forget to renew your car insurance when you can get your car insurance sticker instantly on Hubtel. And best of all, you can set a reminder to renew. Simple matter. Just install the app, enter your car number, and oh la la, your instant insurance sticker is there.
Oh, really? Make I do am now before I forget. But Edemu, Charlie, see. Edemu, insurance sticker need demu one time. I can even renew it every month. Wow. Charlie, as for this one, today, as usual, the sitting is on me.
Visit Hubtel.com/app to download your Hubtel app and set a reminder to renew your car insurance today. Hubtel is everything you.
To the shining sea, where the airline that sets you free with the rhythm of Africa. Together we reach our
Africa World Airlines, touching Africa, touching the world.
Introducing Pick 4 from Game Park Games, the easiest lottery to play and win. Pick 4 numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times a day to become one of our daily winners. More moolah, more power. Play online at www.gameparkgames.com or dial *946# to play. Game Park Games is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Pick 4 from Game Park Games. More moolah, more power.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy.
Right, so welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. And this morning we've been joined by our friends from the Ghana Chamber of Mines. We're having a conversation about the National Intermine First Aid and Safety Competition. But first, for huge discounts and free gifts, visit Electroland showrooms and authorized dealer shops for all your needs in household electrical and electronic goods. So, I beg your pardon. So, wherever you live, there's an Electroland shop, Electroland showroom or a dealer shop close to you. Just look out for Samsung, Media, TCL, and NASCO sign, and you're assured that your search is over. For further information, call 0503 159 739 or visit electrolandgh.com. Electroland, home of luxury and affordable electronics. Bad Kingdom Books and Station Limited, your number one supplier of quality office essentials, equipment, and furniture at affordable prices, is introducing an online store for your shopping convenience. This means you can now shop by simply logging on to kingdomstoreonline.com without physically coming to any of their branches. It is hassle-free and will arrange delivery to your home and office within a reasonable time, and they offer free delivery within Accra and Tema, and accept payment via Momo across all networks. Terms and conditions apply at Kingdom. Quality and affordability are their hallmarks. So this one we've been joined by Ahmed Natog Madasana, who is Director External Relations, Communications, Ghana Chamber of Mines, and Peter Jima is Environment, Health and Safety Manager, Mensing Gold Bebieni Limited. Good morning, Ahmed. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Mr.
Hope all of you are doing well.
By His grace.
We're good, and you? God is taking care of us, as you can see. We're glad that we have life. So let's talk about, this Intermine First Aid and Safety Competition. What is it all about? What are the objectives?
Well, Peter, you could go first. Yeah, good morning, and thank you for to the listeners and those watching us live. The Intermines Health and Safety Competition has been on since 1977, about 46 years ago.
Okay.
And this has been running till date. And we use that one to ensure we educate our workers, the community in which we work, and then the citizenry on health and safety tips, first aid tips, fire, etc. So that people who normally will work will ensure that things that are practiced, they are taught at the workplace, they will be able to put them into practice. And that we also are aware of the terrain in which we work. So we ensure that we put in a lot of these training and systems in place to ensure everybody goes home safely when they come to work. So that has been...
talking about going home safely, so what would be the relevance of this competition to the mining industry?
Well, mining is a very disciplined activity, a lot of machines. So you need to be at the right place at the right time, always alert. So it is important that mining companies take health and safety seriously, because like you said, every worker must come to work and go back home safe and alive. And this program is always organized by the Chamber of Mines in collaboration with the Minerals Commission, that's the Chief Inspector of Mines, and the St. John's Ambulance. So it is started zonally. You have zones, the mines are grouped in zones, and then they do the zonal competitions before they come to the final winner, and then they go to the national competition, which will be done later this month.
So it means
coming
that
Sunday.
yes.
Coming Sunday.
This coming Sunday. Okay.
Yes.
So it means that for you, we'll come to that. But it means for you, as mining companies and even as a chamber, you attach a lot of importance to health and safety among your employees and your host communities.
Very, very much importance, because initially it was just for the mines, but I realized that if you are safe and your neighbor is not safe, it affects you. So now it's extended to the community. So we have community safety brigades as well, who are trained in the first aid thing. Simple things like, how do you treat a snake bite? First aid in terms of somebody falls in the house, swallowing an object, those things. So that at least when something happens like here, you should have somebody who can respond, a trained person who can respond. So I think Joy FM should also have your safety person. Maybe you do.
Yeah, we do.
Who's trained. But you as an individual must also be trained in first aid. That's why it's first aid. And first aid is usually important, and something between life and death. First aid can save the life.
So tell us more about the competition. What form is it going to take? When is it happening?
It is going to be, we have two parts. The first part is going to be the practical aspect, where scenarios are created. We have two people competing for each of the four companies who are vying for the harness. And once the scenario is given, they will be expected to treat the person, whether the swallowing thing, somebody slipping and either having an injury at any part of the body. And then these people will be expected to treat the person and transport such people to the medical center or until a medical personnel arrives. So they are supposed to manage the scene and then ensure the people there are safe. So that is what we will be doing. And then the second aspect will be oral quiz, like normal what do you know. So That's also is going to run almost up to 1 p.m. So these are the 2 sections that we'll have. After which, then the one with the highest score will then be declared the winner.
So it's happening on Sunday.
Yes.
Where is that?
At the GTV studios.
Oh, okay.
So to be live. So live practical demonstration of how, like you said, how to take care of a person before. They are not doctors, but they're just to make sure
First
they can
aid
stabilize
trainers.
the person before the real person, a doctor comes or take the person to hospital. So be live demonstration, and then marks will be awarded. That's why I have St. John's Ambulance people as part of the examiners. And then after that, you do an oral, what do you know quiz on the laws and also the first aid techniques. So you need to know it, yeah.
I don't understand why it's on Sunday. What did you know in particular?
What do you know
exactly?
in particular? Because we want everybody to listen. And
So Sunday,
watch
what
as well.
time again?
In the morning, it starts around
11:30 a.m.
11:30 a.m. Okay, so we can all get to watch it there. But I mean, which 4 companies are taking part in the finals?
We have Bogoso Prestia, Future Gold, Future Global Resources, Ghana Manganese. They will be hosting Chirano Gold Mines, and the last one is Wasa.
Golden Star
Wasa.
Oh, Golden
mine.
Star Wasa. Okay. But I mean, before we wrap it all up, it's important to have a conversation also about getting the younger generation, making it a habit to stay safe and healthy always. How do we do that? I mean, how do you advise we do that? Since we're talking about health and safety.
What we've been doing over the period is to ensure we have these brigades at the schools, so the basic schools, the JSS, and then the tertiary. We organize these training for them, and then they also compete for honors. And then each company is supposed to come with a community team, and these people will come and also vie for honors. Previously, we were doing these practicals. These also were practicals that we give them scenarios as we've been giving to the major companies, and then they will also stage it for marks to be awarded. And then over the last 5 years, we've also, because of the COVID, we had to then convert that one to essay writing. So topics are also given to them. 2 companies, 2 pupils from each of the companies, community companies will come and then also be writing the exams and come. But what we have been doing is that we have been organizing this first aid training for the team, firefighting training also for them, including some of the tertiary, those that are within the catchment.
Okay.
We even at times extend to the market women, so that these people, once trained, they will be able to ensure they are able to save a situation whenever there are such emergencies. And we don't, I always use this, assuming whilst at work, there is fire in the house, and we have not trained, we have fire extinguishers that are mounted in the house, but we don't have people that have been trained. So if our wives, our siblings and kids are not trained on how to use this, then it means that we'll go home and then the whole place will be rained down. So we always ensure that these people are trained, and then they will be able to take care during emergencies. The kid who was able to save the vehicle, the school bus that were going to plunge into a ditch, because he had learned something from possibly the father, he was able to step on the steering, the brakes, to save that situation. So it is better to catch them young, and then once we train them, they will be able to respond during such emergencies.
Great. I mean, anything you want to add for me?
Yes, so we are organizing these first aid clubs in the schools, so that they will be trained as adults will be trained. And then in the future, we're going to do the same practical exams for them as well. So you have the school children doing the practical training and doing the practical demonstration as part of their training. So that once they learn, they go back to school, and then we encourage the first aid club, so that everybody should have an idea about first aid in the school or at home that we know can save life. Because children, they play a lot. So they're playing football, they're in the bush, they're on the farm. Something happens. A student should have an idea about appropriate technology, using local materials to provide safety. For instance, if somebody falls sick in the mine or in the farm, how do you get the person to the house. A stretcher is not there, but you can just use the jute sacks. You cut end to end, put bamboo sticks into it. It becomes a stretcher, and the person can be carried home easily. So these are tips that we are going to give the children.
Great. So, folks, you know what to do on Sunday. But before you go, Ahmed Natogma, Dasana, and Peter Jima, I would ask you, particularly you, Ahmed Natogma, your plans for the communities affected by the spillage of Akosombo Dam as Ghana Chamber of Mines. Briefly, just hold on a minute. Let me just tell you about the eagerly anticipated Pick One game that has arrived with a bang. So you choose your favorite number from 1 to 36 stake and get ready for the excitement as we unveil the lucky number. Prepare yourself to unleash even more moolah by staking from 1 to 350 Ghana cedis and win 26 times your stake on the amazing Pick One game by Game Pack. Play by dialing *946# on all networks via our website or download the Game Pack app on GamePackGames.com. Watch our live draws on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Game Pack Game, more moolah, more power. This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. But prepare for an exhilarating experience at the main fair of the 2023 EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center from Thursday, November 23rd to Sunday, November 26th. Doors will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. each day to welcome you. This year, we're diving into the theme of home ownership, exploring the nuances between affordability, comfort, and luxury. Whether you're embarking on your home ownership journey or looking for upgrades, this fair is your destination for everything housing. This year's EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank empowered by the Plant City Extensions Project from Citizen Habitat, rent to own and sponsored by Elegant Homes and General Construction Limited, where quality meets value. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank, Plant City Extension Project, Cities and Habitats, and Global Lighting, your solution to quality lighting. Syntex Tank, you're stronger, you're tough. Gold Key Properties, building prestige since 1997. Springfield Estate, where dreams are built. Virtual Security, complete security solution. DBS, your roof experts. Virtual InfoSec Africa, security solutions by design. Saint-Gobain, making the world a better place. And Clifton Homes, beautiful homes, wise investments. The Kensington Heights, that's Airport City, Kumasi by HDG Homes Limited. What are you doing for them?
Well, as a chamber, we are a very responsible organization, so we are planning a comprehensive kind of support to them, more sustainable.
Okay.
Because we know a lot of people are provided the first aid and the domestic things, but looking at more sustainable, like shelters, like also sending medical doctors from the mines, and then so very comprehensive. So we have something for them, and we are working with stakeholders to make it more sustainable for them.
Okay, please hold on. Before you go, I've been joined by, just because you talked about that, I've been joined by Dr. Doreen Mensah, who's based in the US and normally organizes medical outreaches in Ghana every year. But this year she decided to go to Mepe also because of the spillage. Dr. Doreen Mensah, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure.
Great. So tell us about your outreach. Yesterday you were at Mepe. How did it go? What did you do for them?
Yesterday we went to Mepe and it was very touching. The center or the area that a lot of the people are staying, they have 1,200 families in this old school compound. So we took bottled waters, sanitary pads, and medication for typhoid, malaria. We also brought medication for diarrhea, for fever. Yes, so that's what it was. So just a lot of medication.
I mean, talking about it being touching, having seen the community as a medical practitioner, you've talked about taking these medications to them. But, I mean, having seen their condition, what do you think others should do by way of their health needs going forward?
First of all, I think we need to make it non-political. The little I saw, there was some altercation between people there who were bringing specifically for one group and not the other. We have our family members, fellow Ghanaians in need, and therefore we should set aside the political ambitions and really look at the humanitarian effort. meaning if we're there, we're serving the people. The supply should go directdirectly to the people. It shouldn't be given to an agency who is then going to distribute. Because what happens is there's favoritism based on certain people, individual agendas. When I got there, I insisted that Mensa Global Health distribute our supply directly to the people. Having seen a little bit of the little fight back action that was going on. And hence I was very happy that the Queen Mother allowed us to distribute to the people, and the people were very happy and thanked us for doing that, because there are times when supplies will come and it get diverted someplace else because it's another group, and it's we're all Ghanaians. Suffering is suffering, right? And this is not the time to be selective in whom you are helping.
Okay, all right. Dr. Doreen Mensah, thank you very much for joining us this morning, and thank you so much for going to the aid of the people of Mefe and surrounding communities. They forever will be grateful. We're also grateful that you've been there. This is the Super Morning Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
National Health Insurance.
Great news! The National Health Insurance Scheme (NHIS) has waived the waiting period for all members aged 70 years and above. All 70 years and above are also exempted from paying a premium. Enrollment and renewal are absolutely free on the NHIS. Members who are 70 years and above can automatically access healthcare when they newly register with the NHIS or renew their membership annually. You are no longer required to serve the 1-month waiting period for late renewals. Dad, mom, grandpa, and grandma, let your old age be filled with good health and access instant healthcare at zero cost on the NHIS today. Download the My NHIS mobile app to register with your Ghana card or visit the nearest NHIS office. Terms and conditions apply. For details, contact the NHIS call center on 054 444 6447 or 0302 746 447. NHIS, your access to quality healthcare. This message is brought to you by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID.
Ebrason, say ye mayen lorry akwan so ho ban bo hia yen yie pa. Said ye be ya ahyenkafo a wode ahyen tumirika hunu ne wone a sekane so kokokora no atwi afa so. Ne dodro na wo bu lorry akwan so mra so. Enko nkotwi mfa ya wofo ne ye mofra so. Enko pra won anam enko kum won. Na yen nyina atena nkomu a akwanhye bie ni ho. Webra a police for de we hinta hunani no ehwe bibia. Ye da traffic tech GH a eye fidie fofra etwa mfoni free Ghana police edumaku no ho edi enamfoni efidie betwa so ebema police fo ehunu won ya wo bu lorry akwan so mra so ne wa manwa so twin siketua ho tikete she lorry akwan so yi #PL enam Ghana police edumaku and National Road Safety Authority for nsa woso and ye this Saturday we boy tuja.
Who runs the city? It's back, it's bigger, it's better. The first National Bank Accra Marathon from Nungua to Dansoman. Get your running shoes ready and join the race of a lifetime. Saturday, 11 November 2023. Let's run the 42.2 kilometer full marathon or the 10 kilometer junior and corporate fun runs to determine who runs the city. It's the first National Bank Accra Marathon. Who will triumph? To register, dial *365*807# and follow the prompts or call 0505-525-535. You can also visit accramarathon.com or any First National Bank branch to register. The First National Bank Accra Marathon is organized by Danceman Keep Fit Club and brought to you by First National Bank, supported by Belacqua, Yango, Pollard Insurance, Media Partners, Multimedia Group and Graphic Communications Group.
Introducing Pick 4 from Game Park Games, the easiest lottery to play and win. Pick
pick 4 numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times a day to become one of our daily winners. More moolah, more power. Play online at www.gamepackgames.com or dial star 946 hash to play. Game Pack Games is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Pick 4 from Game Pack Games. More moolah, more power.
Prepare for an exhilarating experience at the main fair of the 2023 EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center from Thursday, November 23rd to Sunday, November 26th, 2023. Doors will be open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day to welcome you. This year, we are diving into the theme of home ownership, exploring the nuances between affordability, comfort, and luxury. Whether you're embarking on your home ownership journey or looking for upgrades, this fair is your destination for all things housing. Encounter a comprehensive assembly of stakeholders from Ghana's housing and construction sectors. Engage the experts across the spectrum of home creation and enhancement. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitats. Rent to own. And sponsored by Elegant Homes and General Constructions Limited, where quality meets value. Global Lighting, your solution to quality lighting. Syntex Tank, Air Strong, Air Tough. Springfield Estates, where dreams are built. Virtual Security, complete security solution. DBS, your roof experts. Virtual Infosec Africa, security solutions by design. Saint Gobain, making the world a better plan. Clifton Homes, beautiful homes, wise investments. The Kissington Heights, Airport City, Kumasi, by HDG Homes Limited.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back. It's a Super Morning Show, and look, just as we're gathering to say goodbye, some friends have stopped by with something rather special, haven't they, Mama V?
Oh yes, they have. So our own Isaac is here from my Online, and he will introduce what they have brought and who is with him with us.
Isaac, Amania.
Thank you very much, Kojo and Tim, and congrats. This is my time to say congrats for all that you've won.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations to you too.
I'm here with Patrick Blebo and then Alice Ablo. We are from the Teshi Presec 88-year group, and we are here to support with our widow's might all of our fellows, all of our countrymen who are suffering from the devastation of the floods, Akosomo Dam spillage. And that is why we've stopped by this morning, just to lend our widow's mite of support. Yes.
We appreciate that. And in fact, what a great example you've set, because we are absolutely trying as hard as we can to get as much help as we can to the people who are worst affected by this. And this is exactly what we're hoping people will come together and do. And so for the 1988-year group of Teshi Presec, we want to say a very, very big thank you for this.
Thank you. Thank you very much for accepting this on behalf of the group.
You have to tell us the names of your group members who are here with you.
Oh yes, I mentioned Patrick Blebo.
Yes.
And then Alice Ablo.
Can Alice say a word?
Yes, Alice can. If only she would not vanish.
We elect Alice as spokesperson.
Thank you so much. All that we are saying that we were touched with the images, so that's why we came together and put something small. We just started last week, to raise this. And
we thank you.
Wow.
We thank you. We'll come back.
Wow.
And Patrick?
Just to say thank you for the opportunity and keep doing the good work you're doing. God bless you all.
God bless you too. And God bless all of you who tuned in to us this morning. And we're back tomorrow with even more on the show. But it's been quite a morning, hasn't it, Churchill and Ray?
Yeah, it's been a wonderful day.
Mama V, you have something?
Oh, yes, I do. Just before we go, I am reminding you to get ready for the dance party of a lifetime.
Oh,
the
yes.
Rotary Club of Accra Airport Joy and the Gold Coast Restaurant brings you the 2023 Pop Chain Records Night. It's a special dance party to raise funds for breast cancer awareness. And tickets going for only 150 Ghana cedis, available here at the front desk of Joy FM Gold Coast Restaurant. You can also get ticket electronically by dialing *714*003*1# and follow the prompts. Go grab tickets. Let's enjoy ourselves. It's happening this Saturday, 4th of November at the Gold Coast Restaurant behind the police headquarters. Doors open at 5 p.m. and the party kicks off at 7 p.m.
I'll buy one ticket. I'll buy you.
Thank you. What, you should buy tickets for the entire team.
Please.
And our
please.
friends from Teshi Presec as well. Because they are 88s.
Yes, the 88-year group.
In fact, I don't want to see the number 8 anywhere in my day. Thank you all for listening.
But do you want to see the number 2?
Oh yes, any day, anytime, anytime. As often as you would like to see the number 0, Winston. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's been a fantastic morning. We're back tomorrow with even more. Until then, please have a fantastic day and keep listening to Joy. My name is Kojo Yankson. I'm the morning man.